All right, we are live. How's it going, everybody? This is the Rookie Corner, episode 18, and with me today is my co-host, Black Angus Reviews, as always, and we've got 6thScale Combat joining us as well on the panel, and At Dawn as our main guest. And At Dawn, why don't you tell us a little bit about your channel?
Thanks, Rookie. My channel, it's been around for about 2 months now, and I focus on gaming and movie reviews. I started out with some Star Wars content as well. I'm going to keep some of that up, but right now I'm focusing more on some gaming and movie reviews.
All right, sounds good. Sounds perfect. And so what are some of your goals for your channel? Or how long have you been doing it, and what are your plans for like the next year?
Like I said, I've been doing on and off for about 6 months, but more seriously in the last 2 months. And my goals for the next year are to get up by the end of the year, hopefully to 200, 250 subs, and then keep building beyond that, keep climbing the mountain, and hopefully reach that 1,000 sub plateau somewhere in the new year.
That's good. What subs are you at right now?
I think I just passed 150.
Just past 150. All right, all right, nice. 200 will be once you get past 200. I feel like you just end up gaining more subscribers as long as you post at least one video a week. You end up maybe you'll get a lot of, oh, I gained 5 new subscribers, and then you lost 3 subscribers, and then you gained 4 more subscribers, then you lost a subscriber. If for some reason it goes up and down all the time. Like gotcha. Like just now, I passed 300 the other day, and then I was at 304, and then I was at 301, and now I'm at 302, and it just always it just always goes up and down and back and forth. Do you have do you have a video that you want to talk about that you made that's like one of your favorite or you're most proud of?
Sure, we can talk about it, and it's definitely related to what we talk about here in the what you talk about here on your show. You talk a lot about Star Wars. It's a more older part of Star Wars from the original trilogy during that time. It's a movie review of the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Original trilogy, man. That's the thing. That's the thing, though, yeah.
I do enjoy the prequels as well, but I'm more so from the original trilogy time frame. So I thought in the Christmas time frame, I would put out a video, movie review of the Holiday Special. And for anyone who's seen it, would know that it has very little to do with actual Star Wars, other than having like the cameos of the main characters. But I really enjoyed making it and had fun doing it. Good topic.
What's funny about the Holiday Special is that I've never seen it myself, but I've seen I've seen 10 different reviews from people that have watched it, like that are doing reviews of it, from like Red Letter Media to the High Council to you guys to just whoever's watched it and reviewed it. I've seen theirs, and I've not seen the actual film on it, so I don't think I could. I don't think I actually could.
All you need to see is the reviews. You don't want to use it.
Yeah,
the Christmas special is crap. It has nothing to do with Star Wars. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It has something to do with Star Wars, like on a fan sort of a vibe, because real
fans,
they watch it, but it has nothing to do with Star Wars. And just like the sequels have nothing to do with Star Wars.
Well, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, we might dive into that a little later. We're not going to come out the gate with talking about the sequels for right now.
Last Jedi.
Yep. So, and I'll get right back to you in a second, At Dawn. So, yeah, any questions for him, Angus? Brad Dawn?
At Dawn, like your avatar, man. You got a cool avatar.
I was just saying, Cecil calls it the Holocaust special.
Cecil, every time I listen to a Cecil's podcast, I get a rash. You know what I mean?
That's like great. That's great.
Rash. I don't know.
That's awesome. So, 6thScale Combat. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your channel?
Well, I focus mainly on B brand peanut butter, and also sort of hobby stuff. It could be stuff involved with paper mache, or maybe dolls, man dolls. No, I'm very diverse. I'm all for diversity. I'm into the media. I'm into movies. I'm into 1/6 figures, and I kind of like trolling the Rookie Critic in the chat sessions. But it's all in good fun, It's
fun. I like that I have some trolls around here. It's fun. When I was posting videos in the beginning, it was boring.
Critic, it's because I believe in you, man.
I appreciate it.
That's why I troll you.
Yeah, but you got to be trolling Black Angus reviews sometime now too. He's going to be doing some live streams from time to time.
Black Angus, he's a smart guy. You know, he's like really smart guy.
Yeah, well, he's always got a quip to throw back whenever somebody does it. I usually sometimes I gotta think about it.
Yesterday, Black Angus was talking about Taoism, and in the chat, you were like, "Hey, what's this Tao? It's Taoism, man. Taoism. You got to check it out." Right, Black Angus, or not? You were talking about Taoism, right? Or not?
Oh, yeah, I thought you were talking to Rookie. So, yeah, so Taoism for Rookie, he didn't seem to know. Taoism, if he has to be akin to like Buddhism, Confucianism, like just Eastern in general. It's one of the big ones. It's where the yin yang symbol comes from.
Mm-hmm.
But see, the thing that confused me was like we were talking, real politics, and it kind of went into Taoism, you know what I mean? So I kind of. I was caught by surprise, and I kind of understood Rookie Critic's,
confusion.
Confusion, yeah, that's it. Yeah, confusions and confusion.
Yeah, well, like I know the yin yang stuff, but I just never usually hear people call it Taoism. So I'm just like, oh yeah, that's what that is. Okay.
Oh, but Rookie, I know what you mean. I'm kind of people are sort of testing you in these chat sessions. You know what I mean? You got to take care of that stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Sort of skip the comments you can't read out loud. Skip them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's what I try to do for some of them. But I do like to try for the ones that have words I don't know what the hell they are. Sometimes it looks like it could be a typo, but I don't know. So I'm trying to still go with it, and then I'm well.
Sometimes in a good kind of way, people are trying to fuck with you a little bit. But that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Sort of make internet douche loves to fuck with me around in here.
Yeah. What's with that guy, man? What's with that guy? Yeah.
Oh no, he's cool. He's cool. He does it out of respect, is how he calls it, basically. So it's fun, and the stuff that he says are fun as well. What does he say? I'm seeing if he has anything in here already or not.
So what's your plans for your channel, man? Because you said you were going to have a little hiatus and then change up your formula. I'm really interested in what your new formula is going to be. You got 300 subs now. Man, I think you're going to reach 1,000 before any of us. Flipped Out's doing good as well, by the way. He's on 130 subs now.
I know he's getting there. He's climbing up, and
that's awesome.
Sith past 100. I think he's almost at 150 by now. If he's not already, he should almost be there. He might join us too tonight if he finishes up his homework. But
Angus go, man.
Angus dropped. I think
his signal was kind of spotchy, so he might come back in a sec and re-enter. Or if not, I'll send him an invite. I'm keeping an eye out if he messages me or not. So yeah, because
we pissed him off or something. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yes, he's back. He's back. Speak of the devil. Yeah, your signal working okay, Angus? Okay, he's figuring that out while we're talking. That's all good. Yeah, so plans for the channel. I'll make a video talking about that more because right now I don't have all the stuff laid out and I'm still kind of pondering on it, but I'm really trying to finish out my videos for the rest of the year before I fully dive into what I'm going to do for just the season 3 of the Rookie Corner, or of the Rookie Critic. But part of it too will be ironing out how I do my podcasts, because lately I've just been kind of asking a few questions here and there, and then then we just kind of talk about Star Wars and stuff, and just doing multiple streams sometimes, and being guests on other channels, and we end up talking about like the same thing quite often. And I think
you're on the right track, because what you're doing people in, and you're inviting people in that have content. In fact, so you're taking pressure off yourself, and that's good. Because it's really hard to fill a 2-hour stream by yourself, No,
but I think Rookie has a good point with his with your structure, like having a bit more in terms of what you're going to discuss and the format and what will be talked about, what part of the show. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're doing a really good job, man.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, so far I'm surprised, but people like to be on the streams and they like to come back. So that's
it's awesome listening to you guys.
We are the new Rat Pack. We are the new bunch of streamers, and we're going to reach 1,000 subs and we're going to reach 2,000 subs, and we're going to reach 10,000 subs, and it's going to happen naturally because
your
we have the
positivity.
content. No, it's true.
No,
we
I
have the content.
agree, but I enjoy. I appreciate it.
Yep, that's good. And well, so speaking of which, though, speaking about good channels and good topics and whatnot, I was thinking tonight, instead of starting out with Star Wars stuff, let's talk about video games. Do you guys play video games?
Dude, GTA 5 all the way. Trevor is my spirit animal.
Nice. GTA 5. I have not played GTA 5 yet. The last one I played was San Andreas back in the day.
Oh, I
San
love San Andreas.
San Andreas is great, man.
I feel like I could still just go on and play it, and the stuff you can do with it and the cheat codes make it fun. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
Last week I bought GTA Liberty Stories or something. It's like a spin-off with biker gangs and the Ballad of Gay Larry or whatever. And it's so glitchy, man. I thought that was cool, you know, because you can be like a biker gang and do all these missions or whatever. But they sold me like a full price game, but it's so glitchy that you can't play it, man. Xbox 360. Screw that shit, man. It's crap.
Oh, yeah.
GTA 5 is great, though. And Red Dead as well. Red Dead is fucking awesome.
Have you guys played GTA 5, Angus or At Dawn?
Not GTA 5. I like San Andreas, but my favorite GTA of all time is still Vice City. I love Vice City.
That was the one that came before San Andreas, right?
The one that was 80s themed.
Oh, with the white guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
With
okay.
Tommy, I think his name, the main character.
Tommy.
No.
Yeah, that was the first one. I can remember that this guy brought over a Beamer and that first GTA game. And we played it during a Halloween party. Like we beamed it on like a huge white wall. Played that GTA, and since then I've been hooked, you know. And it might have been the LSD, I don't know, but I've been hooked ever since. So that's my story.
What about you, Rookie? What do you normally play?
Well, I lately don't really play that much, but I used to love playing when I was younger. I would play N64 games, so like Star Fox and Super Smash Bros. And whatnot were my main game. And honestly, recently I bought another Nintendo at a Legendary Game store nearby. Because my other one it worked for like 20 years, but it just started to freeze up more and more lately. So I'm like, fuck, so I got to get a new one. So I got one and playing some Blitz 2000 with my Marine buddies sometimes. And some of that is a good throwback for some reason. And and then nowadays though, more recently, I mean, whenever I can, if there's a new Dead Rising game, I'll buy it, play it, and beat it and never play it again.
Exactly.
They're more fun to play in high school when there's no life. Like you could have a whole summer off from school and then just play games all week long. That was fun, but when you don't, it's kind of hard to focus in on it personally. I'm like, I want to play and beat it and be as invested, but I usually play it, beat it, and don't really touch it anymore. Or if they have online maps like Call of Duty, I might dip into some online stuff sometimes, but I don't know. Angus, I'm curious about you. I forget if you play any games or not. I don't know if you got your signal all figured out.
I see Angus got his mic muted, man.
I think he's on mute.
Yeah, but I figured he was muted because he's either got people in the room or something,
or working
or whatnot.
I listen. Do you guys hear that GameStop is sort of losing business? And
I saw that the other day. I think the Quartering put a video up about it.
Yeah, Quartering is good, man. Quartering is a good channel. He's into the RPG games and whatever. But what's happening with GameStop, man? I mean, that's another franchise that we're going to lose. You know what I mean?
My guess is they're not selling much.
Yeah, it's probably tied into games like Battlefield 5 and stuff like that.
Listen, we're
agenda
talking
driven.
About games. I want to say something about Battlefield 5 because that whole stuff about the heavy water. Do you guys know about this game?
About which game?
Battlefield 5. So there's this World War II section where a two-man team of two females is going to stop Hitler from getting heavy water in order to make a nuclear weapon. But historically, this was the Telemark 5. This was a commando team of a couple of dudes that really fought hard. They fought the Nazis. They fought the Germans in order to sink some boat with all the heavy water. They blew up that whole factory. But Battlefield 5, they're doing revisionist history and now they make like, two females that actually took on the Nazis to stop the heavy water thing, and it's complete BS. It's revisionist history, and we got to stop this stuff. It's I can get so angry about this, you know.
I think
you guys
people
think-
are stopping it or helping to stop it because the sales are in the tank of it.
Yeah, they're not
I think it's
buying.
50%
exactly.
lower
Yeah.
than they expected it to be. Like the game bombed big time.
Well, and they told people to not buy it if they don't want to.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yep. Hey, Pete.
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
Going good, man.
Hey,
glad to get you in here for once. Yeah, I think I wanted to have you on for a little while, but it's been hard to find schedules.
I think Angus is back with us as well.
Yep, Angus, you live?
Angus.
Speak.
I thought I heard
Yep.
him.
Gary.
There he is.
Can you hear me?
You good now, Angus?
Is you don't see me, right? My camera's off.
No, your camera's
No, your
on,
camera's-
but it's at the ceiling.
Yeah, is that my Oh, hold on. Damn it.
Hey, nice
Or the
Blues
floor,
Brothers
I can't
poster.
tell.
There it
Is
is.
it off now?
Now you're good.
Okay, great.
Okay. So, Angus, is your signal working better? You found the connection? One with the
No,
force?
I was trying to use my laptop, but for some reason it wasn't on, so I just used my phone again.
Okay. Well, did you hear the question that I asked a little bit ago? Have you played any video games?
I'm not really a video gamer. The only video game I ever contemplated for $60 is Madden because I love football that much, and I don't play online. I just like playing the franchise, but I like to have the updates every year, and there's always little tweaks to it, makes the game better. But I did start playing The Witcher 3 recently. I had it like a year or so ago but I never really played it, and then I heard the controversy about Witcher 3 and the people of color being cast into the
Netflix series.
into an ethnically and as a black guy, I don't like seeing this attack on Euro heritage.
Right. Yeah. I just want to point this out. I don't need a black Superman, and I don't need a white Blade. You get what I'm coming at. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Stan Lee said, "Listen, respect the characters as they were developed, and you have your black characters and you have your other types of characters, and just respect the canon." And that's all the fandom is asking, Yep. And sort of now the trend is to mix up all this stuff, but people are not buying it. You know what I mean or not?
Yeah.
Oh, agreed.
Yeah,
Because
I mean
there's-
that to me. Yeah, to me that disrespects the original black superheroes,
Exactly.
Blade and
listen,
Falcon and
the thing that really messes me up, because Stan Lee, he took a chance with the original Black Panther character. Listen, the Black Panthers, they were a very militant group, politically charged. And to name one of his main characters, the Black Panther, he took a chance. He took a financial chance. And now he died, and people are calling him a racist. And that's BS, stuff was diverse, and we were past stuff. But the left is actually, it's identity politics and racial politics.
Super regressive.
It's messing up everything.
Yeah, I just gotta say this: calling Stan Lee a racist is like saying Gandhi was a warmonger. Total BS.
Exactly.
Total
Exactly.
BS.
Yep. It's like combat saying. It's
Make
more
it
revisionist
angry,
history.
He was creating diverse stories back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Exactly. I mean, there's other battles to fight.
No, I think that's the thing. They think there's a lack of battles to fight, so they're just coming up with ones every other day. Let's attack the Christmas song. Let's attack Rudolph. Let's attack.
Preach it, rookie. Preach it. I completely agree.
Let's attack everything.
Let's attack Charlie Brown Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. And a lot of those memes, they were photoshopped as well, because there was some sort of a girl character sitting next to the black character, so he wasn't sitting by himself. That was all BS, you know what I mean? Charlie Brown thing.
I saw that picture. Marcy was at the end of the table sitting all by herself. And she's a white girl.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, pretty much. At Dawn, did you have any more to add to that?
Just to follow up on what those guys were saying, I completely agree. You mentioned the holiday song. They talked about the Charlie Brown thing, and then we were talking yesterday in the chat about "Baby It's Cold Outside," that being banned.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
It's just too much because the people on the left, they don't get the difference between like tongue-in-cheek humor and something being literal. They take everything literal. They take everything super serious, and they get automatically butthurt about it.
I want to ask Black Angus something. Black Angus, you were in combat, right?
Yeah.
You know what it's like to be in sort of a dire situation, and what's your take on all of this this BS drama, man? What's your take on this BS drama in politics, BS drama in our IPs? What's your take on this, man?
I don't know. The main thing I guess I'm concerned with, it was refreshing to hear Trump talking about this like a month or so ago, where he's like, it's a very scary time. It's during Kavanaugh, and he's like, it's a very scary time for our young men. And I have a son and I have a daughter. I'm not scared for my daughter, even, God forbid, raped or something. She has everything to shield her before and at worst after an incident would happen, because she's a woman. My son, he's quarter black, but he looks like a Nazi youth child. He's blonde hair, blue eyed, and if he's straight.
What your son, man? Your son.
Yeah, and if he ends up being straight, and if he ends up being a good, sports player or something, I'm so scared for him getting,
Well, listen, I hear
victimized.
They're like making vids, sort of when they're entering relationships, they're recording stuff on their phones, saying they have consensus. You know what I mean? And that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, 20 years ago, we were making fun of that stuff. We were saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and it doesn't really make any sense, too. It's like, okay, I agree to do this with you now. And then he goes, okay, now I can do whatever I want to you. It's like, wait.
Oh, man.
That's probably a bad door to try to open. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hear everybody talk about this stuff all the time, too. And for a while, I used to think that, we don't really need to cover it as much. But then the fact that things are actually getting pulled now and that they keep on applying more of it to movies, that it's like,
because
with them,
people, they go into escapism, they go into their, respective intellectual properties to escape from all that stuff. But
Exactly.
listen, it's influencing us. It's influencing, everything has gone so political. It's spilling over. So we have to address it. And we have to call out the BS for what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have to put our foot down and say enough is enough. Like with Star Wars, the Phantom Menace. You have to say, guys, this is crap. What you're doing right now is crap. Change it, or we're not going to buy your stuff anymore, And on a larger scale, that's what we have to do. We have to put our foot down.
Right, but I think part of it, is the fact that, like with Star Wars, we put our foot down forever ago, and then we keep on digging into it sometimes with like responding to every article that comes out, which I do find entertaining, by the way. But I mean, some people seem to think that
you should be
get in their own echo chamber.
For the channels, it's content. So you should be grateful people are doing it. You know what I mean?
I know, but I like seeing more solutions to things, kind of like how like EVS would point out, like, instead of just talking about it, like do something about it, which is like how I see us in a way. Even if we're not changing the world or nothing, we're building our own stuff, not based on just hating.
We are
something.
changing
exactly.
You know how we're changing it, because let's keep Star Wars as an example. Star Wars had all the novels, the comics, the extended universe toys that was scrapped from canon, but we're defending this stuff. And we're defending the true nature of Star Wars, you know what I mean? And we're giving a voice to toys, books, comics that didn't have a voice. That's what we're doing. So we are defending this stuff, you know what I mean? That's my 2 cents anyway.
Yep. That's good. Do you guys want to add on that, Pete or at Dawn?
I'm good.
I'm good. We
Okay.
can move on to the next topic, or we could talk
Yeah,
about Kevin Smith crying about Star Wars. We're all good. We don't need to complain about Star Wars anymore because we're saved. Because
No,
Kevin
so-
Smith
Kevin
cried.
Smith cries when he farts, man.
So
Guy's skill.
what we're trying to get into, I know the Kevin Smith thing, I've heard a few people cover that. We might touch on that kind of stuff in a little bit, but for now, at Dawn, I think it was your turn. Do you play any video games, and what are some of your favorites?
I do. I play quite a bit, actually. I love the retro console, N64. Love it. The original Nintendo. I like Super Nintendo. In terms of newer games, I like third-person fighters. I'm a big fan of the Dark Souls series. I did enjoy The Witcher a lot as well, and I'm really not looking forward to the Netflix series coming out because of the reasons we already talked about. But I enjoy like RPGs, like third-person fighting games.
Well, that's good. I had a question too when you said Super Nintendo. So, do you think that the Super Nintendo, any of the systems, will last another 20 years, or do you think at some point the systems themselves will start to kind of crap out at some point, like malfunction, not work anymore, like how usual consoles do?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's wear and tear, especially if you live in a very humid environment. You know, like the diodes, the wiring, they don't last forever in those consoles. They're not
like
meant
the
to.
capacitors and the circuits, but some of them will. Like
yeah.
I still have my original Atari. It's still
Yeah, I mean, if you keep it clean, you know, if you don't manhandle it, yeah, it could last a long time. But they were never really meant to last forever. Not like a Gibson guitar.
Right, but do you think after a certain amount of time that companies should maybe make some of those older consoles again, or
I would love that.
Is that like a water that most people go, oh, but collectibles?
Well,
but it's like,
I mean, eventually, if they don't do it, you know, once the like copyrights, like what I'm not too sure, but video games can go into the public domain. Maybe consoles can go into the public domain or whatever.
I don't think there are programming chips for Nintendo could, but I think like the actual frame of the box might be able to. But
I mean, so that people can build their own.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody will do it. I mean, some manufacturing company they'll like one day they'll like go to Nintendo or whatever and they'll say, look, well, could we do this? We'll give you 50% of the profits, whatever, you know, blah blah blah. I'm sure somebody will do it. Look at vinyl records. They're back and they're probably here to stay. So yeah,
that's a good point. Angus, do you have any vinyl records?
Yeah, I don't have a record player. I bought them. There's a like a secondhand, like a used store for games, movies, etc. And one of the big outlets he sells is our big not venues, but formats he sells is records. So I got a bunch of AC/DC records for essentially art. Or I got like High to Hell. I got Flick of the Switch. High Voltage and etc. I just post them all over the house. That's really it.
Yeah, like 50% of all people who are buying records don't even have a turntable. They're just buying them to collect them or to display them on a wall, stuff like that. I do have a turntable, but I only listen to like one. Like if I just want to listen to something, I put on the like YouTube or whatever. But I'll occasionally listen to one of my vinyl records. I have a huge collection. I have over 100 now. What I like to buy is colored vinyl records. They come in all colors: green, blue, black, red, yellow, swirl. If you see one, buy one, because they only make like 10,000 of like, they'll make like, say if AC/DC makes like, you know, Back in Black, say if they made, they'll be a limited run. They'll make only like 10, 20,000 of them. So I always pick up one.
Yo,
whoever
Mr.
the
P,
artist is, whoever the artist is.
To this for a little bit, because you know the future is that everything's going to be in the cloud. So that means it's all going to be digital, and they're all going to be able to edit stuff out of all of our movies and music, whatever. Buy copies, DVDs,
right? Yes,
records,
exactly.
do it. You know what I mean? Because they're gonna fuck up our shit. You know what I mean? So buy everything you can. Do it. But not Blu-rays, because Blu-rays are bullshit.
I think that the everything going to the cloud is way further away than we think it is. And I did some research a while ago, and honestly, streaming is a good option. And for a lot of people at the moment, everybody thinks that's what they all want. But honestly, they don't own anything that's on Netflix or on Hulu.
Dude, exactly,
so it's like if they take it off of the library, then it's gone, and they won't be able to watch it ever. And
the Daredevil series and the Punisher series, are those on DVDs or are they just on Netflix? You know what I mean?
If they are on DVDs, they're expensive, I think.
Yeah.
I do have season 1 and 2 of Daredevil on
really,
Blu-ray,
dude.
They're really rare to find.
Did you like Daredevil, Black Angus? Did you like it?
Yeah. I love the first 2 seasons.
Awesome, man. I thought it introduced the character to a whole new audience, you know, and it really did it well. And the Punisher was immaculate. I mean, the stuff they did, he was a Marine, he was in Iraq, you know, he was kind of PTSD, all this stuff happened. It was awesome, you know, and now they're going to scrap it because they're assholes.
Well, no, I think they're just taking it off of the Netflix run, and they'll just do them on the Disney streaming service. They just want to.
But they're going to change it. They're not going to use the same actors. They're not going to use the same storyline. They're going to change it. They're going to cutesify it. They're going to Disneyfy it. And Disney is Satan. Mark my words. Disney will fuck up all our IPs. You know, we got to burn those bastards, man. Fuck Disney. Fuck them.
Don't let Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers hear you say that.
Yeah, no. Hey, listen. I love Jeremy. Jeremy's a cool dude, man.
He's a Disney file.
And you know, I respect his opinion, but he's wrong. You know what I mean? He's wrong in this regard. He's wrong. Disney is Satan with a dollar sign. You know. Satan with a dollar sign.
What would you say that they are Satan now, or they've been Satan? Because if anything, a lot of creative stuff has originated from Disney and has become because of Disney, or inspired people to make better stuff, even if they didn't directly cause it.
Wait.
One at a time.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, that's all right. So, Pete, were you trying to respond to, or @Dawn?
Yeah, I'll just be quick. You said Disney is creative. To a point, what Disney does is they've come up with nothing original since Mickey Mouse and
exactly.
Well, I think the last original thing they came up with was Tron back in the 80s. Not counting all those crappy teenage
Disney films that
Disney shows. I mean, like, you know, like the what do you call, like iCarly and all that crap. At least they created that, but. What Disney does is they take something and they spin it around. That's what they're good at. They're good at changing things, not creating things, but changing things into their own image. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, that's a good point, man. I like that. And I know Combat, you have a lot to say on it, but I want to see if @Dawn, do you have anything else to add to that?
I think Combat hit it straight on when he said Pete was talking about it as well, with the word that he used. I think it was cutesify. If you look back at and you mentioned it, what they started with over the last 60 or 70 years, they didn't really have anything original other than Mickey Mouse. They pretty much just remake Grimm's fairy tales and Mother Goose stories and make them cutesy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good point.
Guys, and I want to be fair because they also did the Rogue One movie, and I'm a big fan of Rogue One because that movie, it was spot on. They hit it. They hit all the right key points. You know what I mean? But the rest, it's all garbage because it's all, you know, they want to play it safe. They want to get as large of an audience as they want to. They want to make money, and they're ruining IPs. Just as like the Star Trek CBS and Bad Robot, they had sort of some sort of weird agreement that 25% of Star Trek should be different and whatever.
Yeah, it's the CBS Paramount deal on.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it.
Yeah, Star Trek. You know, I don't know. I don't get how something like that happens. It's like
it's because they don't respect our lore. You know, this is modern mythology. This is stuff that kids are grown up on.
But
you know,
but what
being raised by television and movies.
Yeah,
they're not. They're disrespecting it.
Right, but what's really bad about Star Trek is you have one company that runs the TV, at another company that's running the movies. Could you imagine if they did that to Star Wars? Like,
No.
Disney said.
I have something to say about this because Bad Robot, that's the J.J. Abrams.
That's his production company. Yeah.
In my last live stream, that was today, I crowned J.J. Abrams the glory hole king of mystery boxes. You guys know that. Enough said.
I do not want to know what's in that mystery box.
Angus, since you're a parent, what are you going to say about this?
I'm a parent.
Oh yeah,
too,
I was just saying that, like, you know,
my cat's by my microphone, by the way, if you hear purring.
Nice.
I was just saying that what they're doing, especially like essentially attacking masculine characters, you know, the heroes, it's troubling because, you know, like they're going to eventually people like us that care about these IPs, Star Wars, etc., with all the heroes, Marvel, DC, things that we covet as great modern myths that reflect kind of, you know, religious, like biblical or whatever book you cherish, examples of heroism and of selflessness. They're going to corrupt them. And so they're eventually people like us are going to become what we think of like the kind of the crazy like fundamentalist Christians that like section themselves off from society. And like the person I talked about that like said that he edited Disney films so they were safe for his kids. And it's like, wait, what? They're already like, they're kid appropriate. Like, what are you talking about?
I understand what Black Angus is saying, but he's making a great point. Listen, we don't care if stuff is diverse. We don't care about anything. All we want is great stories. That's all we want. And respect for canon, respect for history. That's all we want. You can add anything you want. You know, lesbian hermaphrodites. I don't care. Add them, but make it a good story. Am I right or am I right?
You're right. That's a good point, man. Anyway, anybody have anything else to add to that?
Nope. Moving on. Next topic.
Move on.
That's all good. So I guess we could kind of keep it on a Disney-ish topic. I'm just trying to not fully talk about Star Wars yet because we just
Dumbo's coming up. I heard he's not going to be teased or something like that. Like he's not going to be made fun of.
What?
Is that
That's
true?
the whole point.
That can't be true. That can't be true.
Well, I don't think the crows are in it. You know how the crows teased them. So
yeah, I heard that too. I did hear the crows have been removed.
Yeah. So he's not going to get teased from that. So who's going to tease him?
Everybody's going to support him. Everybody's going to provide him a supportive environment.
Yeah, it's not that's I don't want to see a movie like that.
Another Canto Bite scene.
Joking. Yeah, exactly. Throw in another Canto Bite scene.
That's a good one.
But what I was going to ask, though, I mean, since you guys weren't on the stream where we're talking about the live action remake stuff, or you guys were in the chats for the most part. But so one of the questions was, should they at all do any live action adapted remakes of cartoons? Like yes or no? Like
totally.
Like should they do remakes or no?
I think that's a great idea.
You mean as shows or as movies?
Yeah, exactly.
As shows?
As movies.
Well,
take the Lion King and make it into the Lion King with CGI, or take the Jungle Book. Like should they always say?
But
the Jungle Book was pretty good.
Yeah,
so that goes. It was pretty good.
So that's why I'm asking, because a lot of people will say, okay, that we didn't need it, but that was pretty good. Then they see the Lion King and go, why are you even doing this? I think because they want to make it like the Jungle Book.
Can I answer this?
Yeah.
I think the future of our IPs is actually with all these streaming services. And I think, movies are out. People, they can't concentrate for 2 hours in a row. The whole trilogy or whatever, the saga stuff, that's all gone. You need a streaming service like HBO. HBO is really good. They're making series, and it's like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, continuing story. And as long as the attention is there, that's how long the series is going to run. but movies and all that stuff is out. And I think they got to stop rebooting stuff. They got to come up with new original material. And if you reboot stuff or if you rehash stuff, keep close to canon. That's my 2 cents. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, when somebody comes up with like something new, a lot of people say like it's the darned if you do, darned if you don't scenario. A lot of people are like, oh, this is just a ripoff of Star Trek, or this is just a knockoff of Star Wars. So
yeah, but that's because people are jaded. But listen, dude, during the 70s, we had like this huge wave of creativity, freedom with the production companies, and we had a lot of really awesome original material. And actually, Rookie Critic, I want to address you this subject as well, because you said you couldn't watch movies like The Shining and Godfather because of all the parodies. But dude, quality is quality. You know what I mean? Movies like The Shining, they only come around once in a century, and you have to watch this stuff. If you want to take yourself serious as sort of a review channel, which you are in essence for a bit, you have to watch the classics, bro. I mean, I watch like the black and white movies. You know, I watch
what I mean is that I don't think I'd be able to take away from it what everyone else always does, because I've had that kind of spoiled.
Do your research. Look at the cultural time frame and watch that stuff, man, because that'll build you up, man. That'll build you up. You know what I mean?
He doesn't, Ricky. You don't like black and white movies?
No, I didn't say that. I was just saying. I've seen parodies.
The Godfather, because he saw a lot of parodies. But that's not an argument, man. You have to watch The Godfather. You have to watch The Shining. You know, you have to watch Salem.
I don't know about The Shining.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think that even if I watch them, like when I watched, let's just say, Inglourious Bastards, everybody just praises it, and I was just like,
no, but Inglourious Bastards, that was, you know, the thing with Inglourious Bastards, this was a 70s movie based on World War II. And
yeah, it was so based on an Italian 70s World War II.
It was already a parody. You know what I mean?
It was a parody of an Italian World War II movie from the 70s.
And that's kind of what Tarantino does. He's into the whole grindhouse kind of stuff, you know, the 70s kung fu grindhouse stuff, and it's already a parody. But you have to look at the source material, and you have to look at the historical material. I have to judge it by its merits.
Right? Yeah, his movies are like half tribute, half parody. That's what Tarantino is.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh yeah. If you look at Kill Bill, it's total.
I haven't seen that either.
Yeah, total 70s kung fu movie.
Exactly. Taking from like several different ones, like Uma Thurman's biker jacket, straight from Bruce Lee, Game of Death, that sort of thing. Like,
Pai Mei. Pai Mei was a character from the White Lotus
exactly
films of the 70s from Hong Kong. Same look. Same. Tarantino didn't. The only thing he changed was the actor, but the Pai Mei looks exactly like Pai Mei from the 1970s White Lotus Clan movies, or whatever the heck they were called. I think the Shaw Brothers did them. Yeah.
But all that stuff was more of done in an homage to the original content, because there are no real original stories. Like every story's been done. But it's how you take that, and it's like what Combat said, how true you are to it, and how dedicated you are to preserving it and passing it on to the next generation, rather than subverting expectations or taking something and changing it entirely because you don't understand it. That's where the disrespect, I feel, is coming from a lot as well. The fact that the canon isn't being honored because they're just changing and they're thinking, hey, I'm just going to take this property, I'm going to make it whatever I want because it doesn't have to be anything anymore. When if you look at movie makers over the last century, that's what it's always been. You do honor to the previous generation, or you pass on to the next. You pass your information on to the next. Now it's like, hey, I know best, and I'm just going to do whatever I want. And a lot of people don't agree with that. I don't know what do you guys think of that?
I think that's a good point. Angus, what's your take?
On the like watching older movies, or
did you hear what At Dawn just said?
No, about like changing canon and stuff like that.
Yeah, changing canon to fit whatever you want. Like
to fit whatever you want, yes.
Yeah, I'm all about like make your own shit. You know, it's like I'm fine with whatever characters, like with this whole diversity, inclusivity agenda. It's like They know it won't sell, and so they have to mar previously established characters and ride their coattails of success. Where it's like, you're not going to, if you just made some random white guy fighting Nazis in World War II and he's gay, it's like, okay, whatever.
That's racist.
But it's like, oh, Captain America's gay. Oh, hot dog. This is real change. It's like, no. I don't know. Like, I'm all about, like, one of my favorite movies, top 10 movies, is Wizard of Oz. And it only enhanced when I read the original book. I'm like, holy shit. And I read about Frank L. Baum, how people try to read into his books. And he's like, I just made these to make money, as opposed to, like, Alice in Wonderland, which has all sorts of stuff you can take from it. Like, Frank L. Baum literally said, like, I made this stuff to make money. That's why he made, like, 18 books. They have no substance, but somehow the creators of Wizard of Oz took a subpar fiction and made it the greatest fantasy musical adaptation ever that has stood the test of time, that has, Michael Jackson could not usurp, just to give you perspective. Like, I've never seen The Wiz, and I don't want to, because I already have the perfect creation in the 1939 Wizard of Oz. So yeah, I don't know, it's a lot like that.
All right, nice.
I can't argue that.
That's a good question. So do you think that, well, I mean, that's not a good question. I mean, that's a good point that you make with that. But do you think that they'll try to remake The Wizard of Oz at some point? And do you think that should ever happen?
They already did it, man. 1970.
They did a couple of times.
Ross, man. Come on.
Well, I know they've done.
Chanel did one, and it was fucking awful.
They've done the plays, right? They didn't do anything else, right? They didn't, like, remake This Is the Wizard of Oz.
But they haven't changed the canon. Like, what if they did, like, a modern, like, SJW Wizard of Oz?
Well,
like,
the
there's a list of
Tin Man would
movies they
never
should
cut
never
trees.
touch, and Wizard of Oz is on there. Sorry, Angus.
The Tin Man wouldn't even cut trees, like.
Like that thing you had up on Twitter the other day about the PETA. I think you and Sith were going on about the PETA list about things you can no longer do.
That's right. Yeah, what's that?
Oh yeah, milk is racist. Milk is racist now. Yes.
Oh, you know what's funny about that? So with the whole milk is racist thing, I like to watch a lot of stuff, science, primatology, evolution. Just watch this 2-episode series on Netflix called Evolution of Us. It's from 2 years ago. And it's a really good synopsis of genetic studies and whatnot. And they use some real world examples of, like, the plague and whatnot. Well, one thing they talked about I didn't know is that Genghis Khan, one of the reasons he was so successful was because the people he was fighting were very much agriculture. So agriculture based, as opposed to his horde. They survived off the milk of their mares. So they ate milk and cheese every day. And that was part of why they were stronger. So it's funny that they say it's like a white advantage having lactose tolerance, but Genghis Khan was Mongolian. So, like, if you study evolution, like, they're totally incorrect.
Genghis Khan and Mongoloid, man.
That's good. Did you have more to add to that, Angus, or is that it?
No, that was it. I was just like, oh, I found this new thing, so it just totally decimates the argument that lactose tolerance is a white only benefit.
Black Angus, I have a question for you, man. Zombie apocalypse. You have 3 items that you could put in your backpack. What are they?
I'll have to think on that. I'll let you.
Okay.
I'll let Rookie ask more questions. I'll think about that.
Come back, this.
What was your question?
This question is for everybody. Zombie apocalypse. You have 3 items you can put in your backpack. What are they?
At Dawn, you want to go first?
Flashlight does not count.
3 items.
A glory hole.
Some type of material to create fire. A knife, a survival knife. John Rambo's knife from the First Blood, and a nice double barrel shotgun, either Mad Max's or Terminator 2.
The thing I personally think is you don't really have to worry about the zombies. You have to worry about the people. In any sort of breakdown of society, the people are the things you have to worry about, not so much the zombies. But that's just my intake. Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. That's why I was thinking about how would I defend myself against people trying to steal my shit. That's more what I'm trying to think about.
If you get a gun, you have to get a gun.
You have to have ammo.
A sort of a caliber that is common. a cartridge that is common. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's
otherwise
no
you can't
point-
find ammo for it.
No point in getting a 308 because you're not going to get ammo for it. No point in getting sort of, whatever, some sort of exotic handgun. You're not going to get ammo for it. So what are you going to bring? You know?
So yeah, I'd rather have a machete or a sword or something because that's less
and
likely to
then
break.
and then if you have 3 items, are you going to get some sort of walkie-talkie or are you going to do a band-aids? Questions. You know, this is interesting stuff.
Oh, I have my answer.
We don't want it anymore. Just kidding. Go ahead.
So I get like a 6-inch blade. Hopefully, it has like multiple sides of like serrated and
double-sided.
Straight edge. Yeah. A fire starter of some sort and a water purifying straw.
There we go.
Rock and roll, man, for sure. Yeah, I'll bring my Model 10 revolver, and that's all I'll bring. I'll shoot you, and I'll take all your stuff.
You travel light, Combat. You travel light.
Yep.
Sorry.
That's a good one. I kind of figured that's what I was saying. I was like, well, yeah, I mean, the issue is other people, so people get to see other stuff. In my mind, when people ask the apocalypse question, I'm always like, okay, how would I be all prepared? But then it's like, yeah, but you can handle the threat, but can you handle other people that can walk in on you? When what if there's 15 people? What if there's 20? Can you handle all of them? You're just gonna lay it up for them, set it up for them to survive instead of yourself.
While we're on the subject, what do you guys think of the latest season of The Walking Dead? I mean, is that thing sliding down?
I couldn't get into that show at all. It just bored me from the beginning. Honestly, I was just like, what is the point of that? I mean, this is after watching Resident Evil and stuff and all that, and then they're just walking around, and I'm like, I don't know if I can stand to watch this. I don't know.
Is anyone at all into The Walking Dead anymore?
I checked out after season 4.
Yeah.
After they went away from zombies and started focusing on people and especially Negan, I checked out.
Well, I was never into the comics because I thought the comics were badly drawn and black and white. But the whole concept of zombie apocalypse kind of intrigued me. But they kind of approached it more as a soap opera than as a sort of a combat or action sort of series.
Yeah, that's why I never got into it. When you're in a survivalist situation, I don't care about your like romances and like
exactly.
Like that. I want to see you.
All that goes
I want to see you survive, kill zombies, yada yada yada. Whatever.
Yeah.
What are the evil scientists up to, and what are they going to make out of the zombie mess?
What I want from The Walking Dead is nonstop bludgeoning, nonstop firing of weapons until the ammo is gone. I want to see cars hitting zombies. I want to see, You
mean you don't want to see them held up in a warehouse talking the whole episode, and then one zombie gets in and ruins it?
Like a budget. That's like a they blow the budget on the big zombie scenes in the first 2 episodes of the series, and then they have to talk because the fucking budget's gone. But
we have a topic request, Rookie. We've been requested by the Cub to talk about porn.
Yeah, I know. He always suggests that. He's like we don't porn hard enough. Well, because usually our streams divulge into that toward the end. In a way, we talk about nastier stuff, but we'll save that for later. We'll keep it, PG-13 for now, or rated R for now, but without the sexual stuff. So
sounds good.
Yep. But so what was I going to say? They're trying to see what they're talking about. They're talking about different stuff in here. The tennis racket is the way to go. Babblefish. What the hell are they talking about?
What is it?
Pan-galactic gargle blaster. The hell are you guys talking about in the chat?
Well, that sounds like weapons from Ratchet and Clank.
Open-minded movie man's talking about a couple of movies. You mentioned that he's seen recently. Creed 2. Any of you guys seen Creed 2? I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen any of the Creed stuff.
There's too many movies out. I've
only seen like Rocky 4.
See, I disagree. You said there's too many movies out. I was thinking about this. I forgot to tell proper Jeremy. Me, Rookie, Sith, and proper Jeremy, we talked for like 3 or 4 hours after that stream, and he was talking about how he was really disappointed with Halloween, and I was telling him how I saw that movie twice, and there's little undercurrents of like SJW whatever with Laurie Strode and whatever. But overall, the movie is really well executed. And
I didn't hold on, whoa.
I
did not see any SJWism in Laurie Strode. She was a total right wing, gun toting survivalist in that movie.
Maybe not in the Laurie Strode character, but I saw it in the male characters. Every male character in that movie was a goof. They had no direction and they were completely lost characters. Name me one male character in that story that you could look up to, because there isn't one.
Well, when I said Laurie Strode, I meant like I don't know, like her whole, maybe not her character herself, but like the whole subtext and undertone of like, I don't know. It's just there. You can tell that they're trying to push like something there, or trying to make it. The marketing behind it worked really well, hand in hand with like the Kavanaugh thing and like Me Too and stuff, and Believe Her movement and all that. Believe All Women. So perhaps it was like outside influence, but I see it in the storytelling, even if it's more abstract than overt. But overall, I liked the execution. So I saw it twice, and I forgot to tell him this. The other reason I saw it twice was because I knew there was no other movies to go see after this, and that's been the case. Like,
there's been a $100 million movie released every week now since at least till February.
That's a good point, Pete.
All these movies coming out.
Hey, one at a time.
I agree with Angus.
Dumbo, they've all cost $100 million to make and market or more. Like I said, there's too many movies out this time of year.
Well, like Creed 2, I've never seen the first Rocky, and I know it's a huge sin for moviegoers, and because I'm a Philly fan, and Rocky's like our sports icon.
You're from Philly and you've never seen
Rocky. No. I'm a Philly fan. I'm not from Philly. I chose the team myself. I wasn't raised with them. Okay. But I know it's like a sin to not see them having that heritage of being a Philly fan. But once you've already seen The Wrestler and $1 Million Baby, it's like, why go back to something that maybe set up the success of those later films, but like has been done better, I assume. And I just don't care for Stallone really. So it's like I have the 4-pack behind me. Like I'll probably watch them someday, but like there's a reason I didn't go see Creed 2 because I'm just like, whatever. Like Robin Hood came out and I knew that was going to bomb because it just looked awful. Like there's been big movies come out, I guess you could argue, but there's just been nothing that appeals to me. Like the year before, I saw like at least 30 movies in 2017 in theater, and I've seen maybe 10, if not less, this year because there's been a huge dip in quality, in my opinion.
Agreed, Angus.
That's why I haven't gone to see a lot of movies. And so when Aquaman comes out, I'm not seeing that shit. I'm going to go see The Mule with Clint Eastwood.
But we did see The Predator, Angus. We did see The Predator.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that crap too, yeah.
Oh, dear God in heaven. Look, I hate The Last Jedi. That movie was worse than The Last Jedi, believe it or not. That movie has killed.
A bold statement, Mr. Pete.
I'll tell you why The Predator is. This is strictly from a marketing point of view. I'll tell you why The Predator is worse than The Last Jedi. The Predator has killed off the Predator franchise. You will never see another Predator movie again for at least 10 years. Mark my words. And now that Disney's owning Fox, they're not gonna. They're saying to Fox, "Thank you for making this flop. We're not gonna make a Predator movie for a while." So, yeah, because they own that IP now, Disney. So, the Predator has completely killed off the Predator franchise.
Well, the thing that worries me, they're like burning through IPs one after the other, but they're just gonna shelve them. But the fans, they're gonna be stuck in a rut. You know what I mean? All this stuff is not going to come back. I mean, Star Wars is not going to come back the way it was. Star Trek is not going to come back the way it was. They're messing up our stuff, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. There you go. The Lone Wolf Cub said it the best. The Predator was worse than cancer.
So I hear.
I think we had.
Yeah, we have been blessed by the moist. What's up, Brandon?
Hey.
Rookie, add the Lone Wolf Cup to the stream, man. That guy's funny. He's a cow.
I would. It's too late for him. It's like 2 a.m. for him right now. He doesn't want to join in. So.
Okay, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, but he likes the smaller panel stream. So we might have him on next week or toward the end of the month when I have I'll have a couple other streams. I have 2 more scheduled for the rest of the month, and then I'll have maybe 2 or 3 unscheduled ones for random topic hangouts with people. So
Yeah. So, dude, explain to me the hiatus again. What was your plan with that?
just to set my channel up better, because I've just been doing it just the way I've been doing it lately, and I want to change some things up, make sure that I have certain videos that I want to cover, make sure that I have the rookie corner going a little better than it's been going. Because I mean, if it's been going good, that's great, but I think that I could have better topics and whatnot. Because I mean, as much as like we can always talk about Star Wars, but I mean, I want to have other things to fall back on than just talking about Star Wars or SJWs, this and that. I like a variety of different topics, stuff that people don't always talk about, maybe, and just give it a little mix, especially since I get a lot of people on here now, and sometimes we go over the same stuff all the time. So,
hold on. I'm looking at the chat. Dalton Mortimer liked The Predator. Dalton Mortimer, please explain to me. Well, first of all, you must be under the age of 20.
No.
Second of all, please tell me why you liked The Predator. Please, I want to know why.
Cerebral palsy joke coming up.
Okay, well, we have Brandon Moist with us. How's it going, man?
It is going quite well. I finished the homework, and last class is on Wednesday and that last class is a high-stakes class, as it involves briefing a 3-star general at the Pentagon. So we are going out with a bang.
Oh, nice, dude. So you'll graduate on Wednesday?
I will graduate technically on Sunday, but I'm not walking. It's my master's degree. I really am just email me the freaking thing. I don't need to walk. So I will have my degree sent to me sometime.
I got you. Congrats, man.
But, yeah, thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yo, Brandon Moist.
I enjoy. Before we go here, Mr. Pete, I enjoyed your rant about Predator.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing that out of joy. I mean, I'm doing that out of spite.
Well, I'm gonna give you all a chance to rant about something very shortly, very soon. You'll all get your chance to rant for like 5 minutes each or something if you want to. If you had something on your mind or you didn't say anything about The Last Jedi you want to by now, or about the Predator or whatever, we'll get like a 5-minute rants each or something to get off on it. But for now, hey, Lethal Lightnings, I'm gonna address the chat for a little bit because I've been responding to them while we've been going, but haven't really been interacting as much. So I'm gonna scroll up a little bit to see who's all here at the moment. We got the Lone Wolf Cub, of course, one of my moderators and fellow movie person on here. You guys should definitely give him a sub. He does great movie reviews, does very in-depth lore research, which is stuff that you wouldn't think to know he knows. So that's good. And then we got Riot Kitty, a new up-and-comer YouTuber, and she's making a comic right now. And then we got Jedi Rider Gaming. What is that, man? He might join us on a stream next week. I'm not sure yet. We're gonna see if schedules work out. Then we got another brand new YouTuber, the Open-Minded Movie Man, and he's got under 10 subs right now. So give him some subs. He'll be busting out some content. He's just posted a Creed 2 review recently, I think. So he'd be good to check out. And then we got Princess Aruka. She also doesn't have anything yet, but I still think it's cool to sub her because she will have content at some point, and that's going to be some high-quality stuff. So she's always a fun one. And then we got saw somebody else come in here a second ago.
Oh, Lethal Lightning's here. He's pretty big.
Yep, and Proper Jeremy is in the chat as usual, causing his mischief. And Lethal Lightning, hey, man, yeah, I've seen 1 or 2 of your streams, and yeah, he said that he can't stay. He's at work. Nope, I understand. Maybe I'll get you in here one of these days too. There's a lot of people that I still actually have on a list to schedule stuff with, and that's why I want to take a little break too, so that I can schedule actual streams for the next couple months, kind of, because I've just been meeting people and just adding them here and there, and I'm like, I don't know, because they're all too close, with the schedule, and I don't want to have 20 streams in 1 month anymore. So I want to have it spread out to at least 4 to 6 streams a month. Does that sound good?
That's a luxury problem. Man. You're having a luxury problem.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds fine. I mean, as long as you pick a regular time slot, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, well, see, I don't know if I'll be able to pick a regular time slot officially because everybody I talk to is from all around the world. Lone Wolf Cubs in Germany, Alex Lathis is in Britain, the Anomaly Incorporated, he's in Australia, and Obi-Wan Reviews is in Australia, and Angus, and most of the people that I have had on here in the East, and it's just like everybody's everywhere. It's hard to get the actual things because it's sometimes the whole next day for some people, or it's the morning and all that. So it's hard to get a scheduled time. But 5 p.m. Pacific is usually when I prefer it too. It's usually when I got nothing going on. But all right, so the chat's mostly cut up. I sorry I didn't read too much from the chat, but I addressed some of you guys so we can do it. Yeah, and Dalton Mortimer is in here too. He was on here one of our last couple streams, and he says, to be fair, I didn't like many of the other Predator movies, so the self-awareness of the recent one was refreshing. So there you go, Pete.
Well, I'm just gonna say this. I thought it was so bad. It made Alien versus Predator look like The Godfather, and Alien versus Predator Requiem, or AKA Alien versus Predator 2, made it at least as good as The Godfather 3. That's how bad the Predator
Ouch.
is. It is just utter trash.
Yeah, my angle is science, and okay, so I grew up with asthma, and luckily I overcame it and got into the Army, but that could have been something that hindered me, okay, something I had to overcome. All right, but I'll never expect any sci-fi or real science to ever suggest asthma is an adaptation that scientists think may, evolve us better. It's like, what? No, this is a lung hindrance. This is a problem of the pulmonary system. And this movie tries to purport that autism is somehow an evolutionary advantage to look forward to, and that the predator, who they retcon the purpose of the hunt, is now to essentially squeeze out our genetic juices every hunt to hybridize themselves better. And it's like, they want to hybridize using autism, and it's like, what? This is a social hindrance. I love primatology and learning about this stuff, and us being primates, like, communication is key. You learn your parents' voice in the womb, so that tells you how important communicating is. And for autism, one of the new advances they're trying to do to help autistic people interact with people, because they seem to have a hindrance in understanding like social cues and facial cues. So there's these glasses that they're making, like Google glasses, where it's like it can map someone's face and it'll give a signal to the person wearing the glasses, like, this person is frowning, this person is smiling, and then you react off of the signal. And it's like, wow, if you can't, like, that is horrific in social development. This is not an evolutionary breakthrough for us. This is something that without the prosperity of a country of the West, these people would be thrown off a cliff in Sparta. Like,
I agree. You can judge a society by its weakest link. Black Angus is making a great point here.
Yeah, so like that was just horrific to me. Yeah, it's sci-fi, but I expect to, she's an evolutionary biologist. I expect some realism to her character, aside from her being a minute Mary Sue. They didn't really stress it, but her story arc is everything that she does is kind of Mary Sue-ish, where she can just do everything and use a gun and sneak up on a predator and stuff like that.
What was that thing in? Remember that part where she had? I couldn't understand it. She had that tranquilizer gun, and she shot herself in the foot. What the hell was that?
That was to try to suppress the predator.
So okay, all right. So the predator now is like part human. Why didn't this chemical cocktail affect her?
Because dirt.
Because reasons.
Well, no, I thought she passed out because they set everything up.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, she passed out. Yeah, that's right. Oh God.
So Pete, if you want to rant about the Predator or about the Last Jedi, let's start. We'll have a rant sesh a little bit.
Yeah, let's have a rant session
that we want, and we'll take turns. We'll take some turns. It'll start with Pete, and then Dawn, and 6thScale. I'm going to save you for last because I know you've got a lot pent up that you want to unleash. So we'll have you go last, so it might be a little longer. But all right, so Mr. Pete, lay on us stuff that's been on your mind. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, like I said, Hollywood's wondering why their movies are making less and less money. Well, you're releasing too many of them. You're releasing a $100 million movie every week. everyone's not going to go see, all these. I have the AMC Movie Pass, and even I can't see all these movies. I'm probably going to skip Robin Hood because that looks god awful, even though it has director Critic in it.
It looks like King Arthur. Looks like the same movie.
Yeah, it's it's like, and another thing, it's like a modern, like, if you look how they're dressed and everything, they're like wearing like modern looking clothes. And,
oh Lord.
Yeah, they're like, God. Of course, I've ranted enough about the Predator, but I'm telling you, the franchise is totally dead. It's you're not going to see another Predator movie for at least 10 years. Star Wars Resistance is utter garbage. It's more childish than Forces of Destiny.
Here.
I can't believe how horrible. I'll tell you this: a lot of people hate the animation. All you have to do is all you have to do is make your screen darker. It looks okay. All you have to do is make the screen like darker in your settings. Other than that, the show is utter garbage. It's called Resistance, but yeah, I've seen the first 3 episodes. Ugh, God, terrible. I don't think I'm going to watch another one. I'll give the 4th one more shot because I heard Poe kills the monkey lizard from Jabba's palace. I heard he kills one of them or something like that. So that might be interesting. One thing I do like, though, surprisingly, and a lot of people don't like this show, that new Disenchanted by the creators of The Simpsons and Futurama. I think it's a pretty good show. I think it's pretty funny. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I do. So go figure it out.
For years.
Football still sucks. So okay, I'm done.
That was it. I was expecting you to just be like, "And the Last Jedi could suck my dick and fuck this shit."
I'm kind of getting. I'll hate it till the end of time, but
yeah, you gotten over it. I'm glad. In a way, I mean,
what I mean by getting over it, I'm like pushing it into the past. I'll never buy it on DVD.
Yeah. It's not going to make you Hulk out anymore.
Right. Like, I'll never, if they ever make like an all 9 box set of all the Star Wars movies, I'm not going to buy it because of
what if they made instead of episode 9, they made The Last Jedi 2?
God.
I know a lot of
Can
fans.
I say something about this? I just want to jump in there. I think what they're going to do is they're going to release the uncut versions of the original trilogy right before they release episode 9, just to create some goodwill. That's my 2 cents. That's what
I completely agree with that. I honestly think that's a great take.
Let me just
totally happen.
Yeah, let me just rant about the special, like the so-called special editions. You can't get the originals. There are some changes I do like in the special editions. For instance, R2-D2 is blue and silver. He's no longer black and white. Because if you see him in A New Hope, R2-D2 when he's in space because of the green screen, he's all black and white. They never decided to change it in post editing for some reason, but in the special edition they did. So there are a couple of things I do like about the special editions. But I can understand. If you want to see the originals unaltered, go right ahead.
Like in art school, they say when something's done, it's done. You have to walk away. Quit when you're done. And what George Lucas did was go back and mess up our shit. And then that sort of gives a license to other creators to mess the whole canon up. And actually, that's what JJ did. That's what Ryan Johnson did. But it's all because of George Lucas, because George Lucas is an asshole. And actually, he sold
whoa, hold on. What did you say about Mr. Lucas? What did you say about
George Lucas was upset.
What did you say about the creator, the god of Star Wars? What did you just call him?
George Lucas is an asshole. And let me expand on this. He was upset we didn't like his prequels. He was upset.
I liked his prequels.
Well, you're an anomaly, bro. I like
hold on, an anomaly.
Hey, wait, one at a
I'm an
time.
anomaly.
Hey, one at a time. One at a time.
What? That movie made $1 billion without
George
CGI, without IMAX.
George Lucas.
That movie made $1 billion.
Let me finish my story. Firstly, George Lucas was under a lot of pressure. He hadn't made a Star Wars movie in 20 years. And then he got the chance to make the prequels. But he didn't know how to approach it. He just sort of haphazardly wrote a story. He threw all this CGI shit into there.
Oh my God! Oh my God! There is more. There is more practical effect. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. You're one of those. Oh, it's 100%. Shot on it.
He carried a grudge. He carried a grudge. He carried a grudge, and he sold his baby to Disney, and then Disney fucked us all up the ass. That's what I'm saying.
He sold to Disney because of people like you. That's why he sold to Disney.
What you mean?
And now we're stuck with it.
Like true fans, man. Hey, listen, don't disrespect me. I'm not attacking you. I'm just voicing my opinion. You know?
Hey, let's all just moisten up
What's
here.
people like me?
Exactly. Let's get a bit more moist up in here.
Mr. P, is this a black thing?
Hold on. You have opinions.
Sure,
I have facts.
You are a racist.
Those movies, hold on. Those 3 movies, which you hate, those 3 movies made 2 point.
I didn't say I hate them. I didn't say I hate them. I just say, you know, the original trilogy is legendary. And the prequels are kind of meh. Because he fucked it up with Jar Jar. And he fucked it up with his choice of Darth Vader origin story. He fucked up a lot of things. And he was upset about the
Okay, all right. Well, what did you want? What did you want Darth Vader to be? You wanted him to be evil right off the bat?
I was done with the original trilogy. I was done, man. I was done. That was it. That was good. Am I right?
So you wanted to hold on. You wanted to see 7, 8, and 9.
Good enough or not?
Right. Well, okay. Done? So okay.
I'm asking everybody in the panel. I'm asking everybody in the panel. The original trilogy, was it done or was it done? Was it good? Did we need
the original trilogy? Was great.
Okay,
no, but he's asking if we needed more movies. I enjoyed the prequels to a point. I don't think they were fully necessary, but I can appreciate people that grew up with the prequels that think they're good movies as well. Like they do have some high points. I actually think The Phantom Menace for its practical effects isn't the worst, and Revenge of the Sith is right up there. I think it's close to the original trilogy, but Attack of the Clones is where it falls apart
on
for
their
me.
own merits, but they're not on the same standard as the original trilogy. That's all.
Oh yeah. Well,
I love the movies.
From our perspective, ones that grew up with it, I agree with you.
My point is that George Lucas was so upset about the fan reaction and about all this pressure that had been built up that he was just like, okay, fuck it, I'm just going to sell it to Disney. And Disney gave him a whole bunch of money. And now Disney are not only like a greed machine, but they're an ideology machine. And they're fucking up our shit.
So that I agree with.
But who's to blame? George
That's
Lucas.
Why we're all here.
Hold on, you guys. All right. Hold on. So I'll respond to combat for a sec, and then I'll let you guys do one too. So you think you're making some good points, but I think that just in fairness to George Lucas, if you made movies that everybody seems to like, and then all of a sudden you make some that everybody hates you, calling just like you've ruined their childhood, it's horrible, this bullshit, everybody hates it completely, constant thing, and then people want more movies from him, but then they don't want him to do it, they want other people to make it anyway at some point, and then he is just going to, it's like, you know what, okay, fuck it, I want some money, and you guys want some Star Wars, so you guys don't want me to touch it, so I'll just sell it to people, they'll do it, and then see what you want then. So I understand from George Lucas from that perspective, because if I made something that people like, and then all of a sudden I'm making more movies and they're like, this is bullshit, you're ruining it, I would be like, well, what the fuck do you want from me? Because I'm doing what I'm doing in my head, which is I created the story and I'm finishing it. And so I can see it from his perspective that was his business move. But, that's just pretty much how I see it. But I see what you're saying too.
Dude, rookie, I agree with you, man. I agree. We are in agreement. But I'm just saying, Lucas was fed up with all the BS and all the pressure. He sold it to Disney, and then Disney took it over, and Kathleen Kennedy from Lucasfilm took it over, and they fucked it up. They fucked it up because they don't respect our canon. They don't respect our culture because they're all fucking nihilists. You know what I mean?
Well, that's true, but I don't think that makes George Lucas an asshole.
George Lucas is an asshole.
No, he isn't.
No, let me finish my point. George Lucas did not realize that the amount of flack he got outweighs the amount of love the true fans had for the thing that he actually created, which was much larger. George Lucas should have said, okay, guys, you didn't like the prequels. I did my best. And this is it. No more Star Wars, you know what I mean? He should have taken a high road.
Well, he wanted to stay on as an advisor. He wanted to stay on as an advisor.
You respond, but try to not insult him. Just have the rebuttal about the topic. Okay. Go ahead.
I want to hear what Black Angus said. Black Angus, what did you say, man?
No, I said he should have took the high ground.
Yeah. Did I mess up? Yeah, English is not my native language, man. Sorry.
No problem.
All right, that's all good. So, Pete, go ahead.
All right, okay. He was like Combat was saying, he was under a lot of pressure, but I do not blame him. I do not blame him for. Well, he probably had no idea what Disney was going to do to his beloved franchise.
I agree with that.
And he thought he was going to stay on as an advisor until KK got rid of him. And now I heard, if the rumors are true, now he's back as an advisor. I heard Iger brought him back. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, but that's because they're losing money, Pete. Mr. Pete, that's because they're losing money. They're losing money.
They should be losing money with these
stuff is not selling, you know what I mean? So, okay, I tried to make this point in my stream.
Yeah, okay. Well, the only thing we don't agree on is you blame Lucas for selling to Disney as the primary factor. I blame the negative fans for him selling to Disney as my primary factor.
The fans weren't that negative, though, man. The fans, listen, you're only being negative because you care about something. You know, it's the same thing in a relationship. You're going to address something because you care about it. If you don't care about it, you're not going to say anything. You're going to say, fuck that shit. And you're going to walk away. But so many people cared about Star Wars so much that they had to say something. And George Lucas didn't judge that in the way that he should have. He should have said, okay, this is no longer just my story. This is actually a cultural phenomenon. A lot of people have a feeling. You guys kind of understand what I'm saying here or not?
Yeah, no. If I may interject here quickly,
go ahead, Moist.
I feel like it's a situation that we need to take two perspectives here and take each perspective into context. So, whenever Lucas wrote and released the original trilogy, he was on cloud 9. I mean, this is when episode 4, I was gonna say episode 1, but episode 4 came out.
Yeah.
1977, and then wrote it on into 83 with episode 6. He's on cloud 9. He has just changed the entertainment landscape. All right, so then 1999 comes. Episode 1 releases. People are excited. I mean, if you look at YouTube videos of people waiting to see this movie, I was
there. I was there, man.
Yeah, like the hype was real, way more so than when it was 2015.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So people are excited for this. And then, episode 1 comes out. The initial reaction, it's split 50-50. People were like, oh, God, double-bladed lightsaber. That was awesome. Like, oh, young Obi-Wan. Cool. And then it's also the story was kind of weird. But, and then you have episode 2, 3, it all goes. And then George Lucas is seeing all the criticism coming in. But if you put it into context, I can also see why he would be frustrated. He's like, okay, well, this is the story that I had planned, and people didn't like it.
No, I understand that. But with the original trilogy, didn't he have like some sort of a secondary director that kind of
exactly.
Yeah, he had Rick McCallum, his producer. Exactly. He was a yes man. He was a yes man to Lucas.
Okay. For the Star Wars: A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, there was some guy on the production team that sort of told George, simmer it down, don't do this, don't do that. Mm-hmm. And I think if guy
what was his name? I should know this.
My point is, if that guy was there,
Gary Kurtz.
yeah,
Gary
Gary
Kurtz
Kurtz.
is the producer.
If
Yeah.
he was there during the prequels, we would have had high quality Star Wars, like the way it was. You know what I mean? And
Well-
that's one thing I'll say about the prequels is that they did feel like Star Wars movies, even though some stuff was sketchy. But the reboot, the sequels, they feel like Disney.
If
That's
I
why-
can tell, I'm a prequel baby. I mean, the
Mhm.
first
Yeah.
movie I saw was Phantom.
I'm not hating on the prequels. I'm just
And then-
hating on the sequels. Yeah?
And then with it, I saw Attack of the Clones, and I loved Attack of the Clones when I saw it in theater. As I got older, I came to realize the story flaws within it and everything. And then, but still, I mean, today, like how I rank Star Wars is for me, for Empire, Return of the Jedi, and tied with Return of the Jedi is Episode 3 for me. Not saying it's better than 4, but I enjoy Episode 3 a little bit more, just because for the fact of the novelty for me growing up. Seeing Darth Vader,
It's nostalgia. It's kind of nostalgia.
It's exactly so. It's like I appreciate that nostalgia, but it fit exactly with the canon, and that's exactly what I want from Star Wars right now. And what we're seeing with the sequels, we're seeing complete bullshit.
So
anyone can use the Force. Anyone can use the Force without training now.
Guys,
All right.
what do you guys think about Disney creating Star Wars content exclusively for the Disney streaming channel? I think that's a bad move.
Well, I kind of want to shift it away from Star Wars. It's
Star Wars is in the title.
People in the chat don't want to talk about Star Wars right now, so I've had some suggestions for other topics while we're in here. So,
I'm not following the stream.
Upcoming sequels. So, did you guys see the Glass sequel for Glass?
You mean Unbreakable?
Glass is the sequel to Unbreakable, and it ties in with that schizophrenic guy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, isn't Split? Where's Split in that whole?
No,
Unbreakable, Split, then Glass.
It's the Split, Unbreakable, Glass universe. It's a shared universe.
Okay. There's just no. Is it the Shyamalan universe or something?
Yeah,
the Shyamalan
I think there's a name for. I'm not big into Shyamalan, but yeah, it's. I don't know if it's part of his greater whatever, but those three movies are related, and this is the sequel to Split and Unbreakable. So yeah.
Okay. Now I haven't seen Unbreakable since I was maybe like 10 or something. I don't remember too much. I just remember that Samuel Jackson was being a dick in a comic shop, and the kid was almost going to shoot his dad or something. So I didn't see Split. I have Split, but I just haven't gotten to watch it because I just haven't felt like it. But I don't know. So like,
I haven't seen any of those movies, unfortunately.
The Glass trailer looks good, but it looks like I don't want to see it either. It's like I'd probably buy it to watch eventually, but I don't know. What's at Dawn? What's your opinion on that?
I'm not a huge fan of M. Night Shyamalan or any of his work, to be completely honest. I've seen Unbreakable. I didn't mind it. I haven't seen Split, and I'm probably not going to see Glass, to be honest. I find his brand of like psychological horror it's decent, but he's very repetitive. He hits the same notes quite often in his movies.
Right. Yeah,
I have
Angus.
not. Yeah, I'll be quick. I have not seen one of his movies entirely. I've only seen bits.
What's the last
Unbreakable
Shyamalan movie that you saw?
I'm trying to think.
I can't remember the name of it. It was the one where the grandparents are not the grandparents of the kids.
Oh, The Visit.
The Visit. That's it. That was actually pretty decent. That was.
The last one. Yeah, the only M. Night movie I saw in its entirety is the one with the aliens.
Oh, Signs.
Signs.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only one I saw in it, and I've seen only parts of Unbreakable. It's not like I'm not going to rush out to see this movie. So yeah.
Okay.
I don't hate the guy. I don't hate the guy, but I don't love his work. So
I know what you mean. I feel the same kind of. I mean, I guess I can see how his work is good, but I can't really see myself watching it. And Signs, the kids look the whole movie is so boring. I'm just like, what? God, there's nothing here. There's just, oh, look, the kids are like, Daddy, there's an alien outside. Can I get a glass of water? Shut the fuck up, kid. I don't know, take an action. Angus, I want to hear your opinion on Shyamalan.
Okay.
On his stuff.
So Signs, I fucking love Signs. It's one of the first movies I remember watching, and my grandparents had like stars and stuff, so it was like I watched it every time it came on because it was like a hit movie at the time, and that movie freaked me out. And I know there's some like plot holes, whatever. It's like, oh, like if their weakness is water, wouldn't the scouts have like realized the planet is 75% water and like every animal is 60 to 70% water based, etc. Yeah, I see the flaw. But it's an interesting concept, and I like that, like such a simple thing they overlooked. I like the whole purpose. The thing that people don't realize about Signs is kind of like Monsters by Gareth Edwards. It's not exactly a sci-fi movie. It's a drama in a sci-fi setting. People don't realize that Mel Gibson, when the movie starts, there's like a outline of a cross in his room because he used to be a priest. I think Episcopalian, because they allow priests to be married and have families. And he took it down because his wife is dead. And so the movie is really about his grudge against God, kind of like Stalin shaking his fist at God. And then at the end of the movie, he comes back. So it's a story of like faith being restored in an alien setting. I own Sixth Sense, but I've never seen it. I know the ending. That's not going to spoil it for me. I just have never found the right mood to watch that movie. Unbreakable is okay. I've not gotten through it all. It is a very slow-paced movie, but it is very consistent and well made from what I have watched. I haven't seen the ending of it. I saw Split in theaters, loved it. It's a great character performance by McAvoy to play like 23 characters. Theoretically, they don't show all of them, but what he did was just
Black
amazing.
Angus, how you don't have at least 10,000 subs is beyond me, man. You are smart mofo, man.
I'm trying to think some other movie. Oh, Devil. I like Devil. That's it's an interesting concept and like the whole like whodunit in an elevator. I thought that was really cool. I like Shyamalan's work. I know he fell off with Avatar. Lady in the Water. That is super underrated.
I haven't heard anybody that likes that film.
I don't get why. I love the concept. It's just a simple like it's kind of like Tolkien in The Hobbit. He wrote it for his kids and then it kind of developed into a movie plot. And I like it. He's got an interesting style to him. He's like the first director that I started watching like behind the scenes stuff too. And then shortly after, I started watching behind the scenes DVDs in the 2-disc prequel set of Star Wars. And yeah, so him and Lucas are like my foundational directors as far as behind the scenes and understanding camera work. Signs is great because I like it's kind of like how Godzilla was. It's Hitchcockian in the essence of hiding the killer and making you afraid of what's coming, and sure it can be underwhelming, finally revealing the creature or whatever, but that effect really worked for me. That movie still freaks me out, the reveal and the idea of like the lights in the sky and stuff, and just like the bird dropping down straight down, and I don't know, it's a great experience. I never had a problem with that movie, and I'll always cherish it, and I'll hopefully share that with my kids someday once they're probably about 8 or 10, sit them down like, hey, let's watch Signs and see how creeped out they get by that.
Angus, well, I think you've given me an idea for a segment one of these days is to have a Shyamalan movie assignment, and we have some people watch one of his movies, and we all come on to talk about it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah,
because his movies in particular are so bizarre that I think there's so many different angles we can all take from them.
Oh,
so that'd be
one more thing I was going to add. This isn't to like push you to go see it, just like I'm pro boycott for like Star Wars and Captain Marvel. But if you want this shit to change, you got to invest in other movies. So like me, I'm always backtracking. I'm always backtracking, finding older movies because there's not stuff for me to see in theater. I go to my library, find Criterions, find classics that I didn't get raised with, like Die Hard. I finally saw that this year. I love it. Beverly Hills Cop. But it's like John Wick and stuff. Like, if you want film to change, you got to invest in the industry for them to change and for them to see. The end game is the dollar sign. What did the movie make? And that's how Hollywood will change for the better, is if you invest in movies. The Unbreakable movie is coming out in January. January is usually a dead spot for films coming out. That's why Underworld 5 came out early January, because they didn't really have a prayer of making money. So just take that in consideration when you're thinking about man, I wish the film industry would change. Like, you got to put money into it at some point.
Underworld, that's a guilty pleasure for me. I mean, look, they're not the best movies. They're poorly directed. The special effects are pretty bad. But there's just something about those movies that I don't know what it is. I'm not the biggest Kate Beckinsale fan, but
yeah,
something about those movies I just like about them. I don't know what it is.
Same thing. Same here.
I shouldn't like those movies. There are other better vampire movies out there like Blade. But
Kate Beckinsale and leather spandex.
I don't know what it is. There's a lot of closet fans of that
Lip
series.
reading. Lots of camel toe.
Moist, what are you gonna say?
I would say like closet fans right there. It's like I love the Paranormal Activity films. I don't know.
Those are good.
I love those. Like I said yesterday, to plug it shamelessly again, I'm writing a novel, a horror novel based off of demonic shit like that.
Nice.
So it's that's the kind of horror I like. It's like believable stuff like with based on religion, things like that. I don't know how religious people are, so I'm not going to get into it, but I like that kind of stuff. But I think the Paranormal Activity movies, it's like they're very predictable. Like just going to build up to the very end, all of a sudden, boom, big jump scare. I freaking love those things, and like the fact that it shows people just like a normal context. I enjoy that. I'm just like, hey, cool, that could happen to me. Hopefully it doesn't. I live next to a Civil War battlefield. Who knows what the fuck's going around my place?
Oh God.
Brandon
this
Moist.
is a good subject idea, like guilty pleasure
ask you
movies.
a question to Brandon Moist. Brandon Moist.
Yes, 6th Sense.
Did you see the original Nosferatu, like the Carl Schreck movie, the black and white Nosferatu, the original vampire movie? Did you see that?
Oh my God! Can you say that again too? Oh, I just heard the last.
Nosferatu, the Max Schreck, black and white.
It was the yes, Nosferatu. It was like from the early like
20s?
early last century, 19 whatever.
Mr.
It was
Pete,
1929.
That like the scariest horror movie ever.
And and it was the first fictional vampire to be killed by sunlight because before Nosferatu, what sunlight did, it weakened vampires, but it didn't kill them.
Even fucking SpongeBob gave a shout out to them.
Yeah,
that's true. That's actually how I know the name of Nosferatu.
Moment of silence. Stephen Hillenberg.
Okay, let me ask you another question. Salem's Lot.
Salem's Lot. Oh my God, the
1970s. The 1970s series.
There's a movie. I don't know about it. It might be one, but I've read the book and it's incredible.
The book is awesome, but there's a mini series that was shot in the 1970s. I think Mr. Pete's seen it.
No. Unfortunately, I've not seen Salem's Lot, the mini series or the movie. Believe it or not, I have not seen it.
It was with the same guys who were in Starsky and Hutch. The blonde guy from Starsky and Hutch. I don't know what his name is, but he was the writer in the Salem's Lot miniseries, and it was a direct transplant from the Nosferatu original movie to the 1970s Salem's Lot miniseries. Dude, if you like horror, you have to see that fucking miniseries.
Yeah, no, I love the book. Like that like I have it literally sitting on the bookshelf that I'm looking at right now. And no, I love that book. And I know for 2019, I know Pet Sematary is coming out from Stephen King.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good, actually.
Wait for that.
I think another one is actually coming out in 2019 or maybe 2020. They're making a movie version of Dr. Sleep, the sequel to The Shining.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then we have It Part 2 coming out as well.
Yep.
Dude, what did you guys think of the It remake? I thought it was pretty good.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Here, let's go in a line so we can have some thoughts. Go from that. Let's start with At Dawn.
Yeah.
The It remake?
Or the remake, yeah.
On the remake, I enjoyed it on the most part. It's very reminiscent of the time, like similar to a time that I actually grew up. So I enjoyed that part. But from the aspect of how the movie was framed and written, it's not very faithful to the book. A lot of parts were left out. But on the most part, I did enjoy it.
The book is like 500. How much?
Yeah, I know.
It's like 1,000 pages, I think.
Exactly.
But no, going on that, I mean, I am not a huge horror fan, but when I was younger, I liked it as far as I was afraid of it when I was a kid, and then seeing it when I'm an adult, it is kind of funny, honestly. And then seeing the It remake, I mean, some of it was a little creepy, but I was kind of bored. I know that a lot of people
want to ask a
feel that
question.
way, but
Original It Clown compared to the Clown.
Hold on. Halfway through, I mean, they kept on showing him all the time, and nothing different was. He was just eating them, and I don't know. He would eat everybody else, but then he wouldn't eat these kids. And I know he's trying to scare them to like make it taste better or something, but I don't know. It just wasn't that entertaining to me. It was just constant. Oh, I'm gonna get you, but I'm not gonna because I don't know
reasons.
It's just not for me. It's hard for me to like a horror film, by the way. So, and especially the noises where, you know, every time there's a jump scare, jump scares are just something suddenly in frame with a loud noise. So that is just annoying at all levels. So
I fully agree with Rookie on that one. Jump scares, fuck jump scares. Those are the worst. And all the loud noises in horror movies.
To me, I saw it. I did not see the original 1991 TV miniseries It, but I did see it in the theaters. It was. I'm not the biggest Stephen King fan. The only actual, and I don't. I'm not a reader. I know a lot of you guys like books. I guess I'm part dyslexic. I do not enjoy reading.
Can't even say the word.
Yeah, I can't even say the word. I do not enjoy reading. I'd rather listen than read. I do like audiobooks. I'm not the biggest Stephen King fan. The only work I actually enjoyed from him was Maximum Overdrive. Other than that, it was okay. I mean, it's like I can't hate it, but I don't love it. So that's all I'm going to say about it. And I felt the kids. I felt those. I did not connect with those child actors. I really didn't care about them. It's like I cared about like the child actors in Goonies. I couldn't care about these kids for some reason.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same. Their acting was pretty good. I still didn't care. It was just
their acting was okay, but I didn't care about the kids. It's like I didn't care if the kids died or not.
Who caught up on the Lolita aspect of the It story? Because there was like a Lolita.
Oh, the
Mr. Pete, tell us.
Yeah, the book. I mean, I'm surprised King wasn't investigated for it starts with the letter P. You know what I mean?
You want to talk about with King fucked up kid stuff? Anybody familiar with the book The Outsider? It just came out.
Yeah. Brandon Moist, man.
Yeah, the murder in that is a like 10-year-old kid. And
little bit, creepy. It's creepy.
I'm not going to repeat it on air because it is that fucked up.
We don't want to flag rookie critic stream, you know what I mean?
Do that, but it's a great story, great book, but my God.
Yeah, I understand what you mean, man. Yeah.
Angus, did you have anything you want to say about the It remake?
Oh yeah, it's kind of a funny story. My wife is terrified of clowns, okay? But her coworkers at Target got her to go see it.
Who said hobo? Who said hobo?
Right after class, I rushed to the theater and watched it before I went to go see it right after that with my wife, so I would know when to like grip her hand so she'd be prepared for like the scares coming up. And she actually did really well. I can still kind of creep around and be like, it's like what is that line he says, like honk honk Georgie or bye bye Georgie, whatever. I'll still get her with that shit. But no, overall I give it a solid 8 out of 10. I never saw the original. I've seen clips of it. I'm like, I guess Tim Curry's great. Funny thing about Tim Curry and It, I learned because I love the movie Legend, very underrated Ridley Scott movie.
Legend is awesome.
Tim Curry is the devil. I never realized that. He is darkness, and that experience jaded him from doing any performances in suits like that because he actually scarred himself from ripping off the suit because he was getting overheated. Mm-hmm. And when they got him to do It, he was like really avoidant of that. And they're like, well, you're just going to have to put on makeup and a skull cap. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. The performance of the It clown was so great.
Tim Curry
Like
was the bitch
just
alive.
the physical acting and stuff, and like the little ticks and stuff. Like it's very on par with. It will never get the same acclaim, but I think the performance of that and the mental scarring it did to the actor is on par with Heath Ledger's Joker. He was actually a bit avoidant about doing a sequel because of like the crap that was going on in his head doing that role. So that's how invested he was. But he's coming back. It 2's happening. I'm excited. I really did connect with the kids, especially the kid from Stranger Things. I liked his character. I thought he's great comic relief. I saw like people like Grace Randolph complain about the black kid getting like written into a corner. Sure, but it's like the main characters were like the lead kid and the redhead chick, and there was like Lolita aspects to it. I given the climate we're in now, I applaud them for even being willing to touch on that stuff, especially with a minor.
So. Not just kidding.
Oh, rookie.
Yeah, poor choice of words.
Stand in the corner, rookie. You're right.
Good one.
Yep.
So the meat, he was trying to get it moister.
Was he making it Brandon moister?
Moist.
Yeah.
Your touch is so moist.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're starting to trend toward that R rating.
Yeah, it's whenever it's almost around that 2-hour mark is when things divulge usually. But,
Jimmy's like, touch.
Hey, when you're in the gutter, at least you know which way's up.
Yep. All right, though. So, speaking of horrific things, so I guess I know it's Christmas-ish area, but since horror seems to be what you guys like to talk about a little bit, some favorite horror films. We do Christmas next week. That's next week.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. So, starting, I don't know who to start with this time. Okay. Yeah. Moist. Favorite horror.
Favorite horror film. Okay. So I have 2 of them. I'm going to go in depth with one of them, and I'm not going to go in depth with the other. The first one that I'm not going to go in depth with is The Conjuring. I can sit and watch that movie all the time. I freaking love it. Like, to me, it's not like I don't jump anymore, but I just freaking love that movie. But the other one is the Blair Witch Project, which to a lot
Blair Witch, yeah, fucking A.
It's just cheesy. It's not, it's not very scary or whatever. To me, it's not very scary to me or whatever. But I enjoy the fact that it brought up the entire found footage genre.
A lot of people hate that genre.
I love that genre.
Dude, Brandon Moist, this was like the start of the internet.
But like the fact that literally these college students went out into the woods and just like, hey, let's film this thing. Let's make a movie like this. I respect the hell out of that grind.
Yeah, Blair Witch is a good movie.
And I think, and then look, it made. Like you look at Paranormal Activity, how they made that movie with the 60,000.
The story about the witch is true, by the way. In those regions, up north.
I'm from that kind of area, and I can tell you, I've hunted in woods like that, where I've gotten lost. I've gotten lost hunting in woods like that, and you're freaking like, if it starts getting dark, you're like, I got to get the hell out of here. Like, I get the hell out of Dodge. It's nothing's out there.
Brandon, when you're hunting. What caliber do you hunt with, man?
30-06 is my usually go-to during deer.
Cool. Yeah, cool. Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah. So, deer hunting 101 right there. So, but no, I love like the Blair Witch Project. I think it set a new genre. It was like the Star Wars like in 1977 with science fiction.
Yeah, I agree.
It's people that got up off their asses to do it.
So.
I agree with this. It was the whole campaign was immaculate. They kind of pretended that it was a real deal, and people bought it because the internet was so new. You know what I mean? So exactly. It was amazing, and they also built on original folklore, like actual stories from the region. And it was shot in VHS partly. It was an amazing movie. And I was
Robert Jeremy says his favorite movie is Solo.
His favorite horror movie. Yeah, I saw that. His favorite horror movie.
Robert Jeremy. The Jeremys are like a virus, man.
7.
Yep. All right, at Dawn, what's yours?
Favorite horror movie?
Yep.
That is a tough question. I like every genre you can imagine, like every subgenre. I like the old black and white Universal movies, the stuff from the 50s and 60s. I love the slashers from the 80s. But if I had to pick, I'd have to go with two. It's Halloween. They're both John Carpenter. The original Halloween and The Thing. The Thing, because it just doesn't give any F's. It just does its thing. There's no tacked on romances or anything like that. From the moment you get into it, you're just going on a roller coaster, and it's just terrifying every moment. And the same with Halloween, from a different perspective, that it's all based on atmosphere. The atmosphere just builds along with the music cues. Just the feeling of both of those movies. That's what I like in horror. Music cues, not so much the jump scares. I'm not a huge fan of jump scares, but just the feeling of setting the right tone and atmosphere as you go along before something happens. So those two are definitely near the top of my list.
Right,
Dawn,
like the actual
can I ask you
suspense.
a question?
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
did
sure.
you think of the Rob Zombie remakes?
Oh, the only thing I liked about the Rob Zombie remakes in part one is that they got the character. Her name is, I'm drawing a blank on it. She was Danielle Harris from part 4 and 5.
Yeah.
She came back and played the Annie character, I believe. But other than that, the first one wasn't the worst. The second one, I don't even know what that was. That wasn't a Halloween movie.
No, exactly.
That was a completely different
he was
movie.
Kind of
like
freestyle. He was jazzing it. You know what I mean?
he really was. He really
Yeah.
was. And it's horrible to say that because Rob Zombie is such a huge horror fan. Like he's a massive horror fan. Like his band White Zombie was named after like the Bela Lugosi movie from 1932. And
being a fan does not make being a good director, you know.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. But it was just disappointing because I was looking forward to. I was so hyped because all of that stuff. And I think on tour at one point he had like the big robot from the Phantom Creeps, the Bela Lugosi series from the 30s. Like he's a huge horror fan. But you're right on. He did not do a good job with the property. That's for sure.
Okay, cool, man, cool.
Yeah, and again, I'm not a huge horror one, so I don't really got anything off the top of my head. So,
So yeah, I'll go. I'll give you 3. Although I don't consider this first one a true horror fan, I look at it more as sci-fi because it was supposed to be a Cloverfield movie. People were talking about it, and it reminded me. Quiet Place. Even though Rookie has torn it apart, even though he hasn't even fucking seen it, I still love Quiet Place. Although I consider it sci-fi and a personal drama. But the other 2, I'll say Sinister. Because that movie, when I was in AIT and for medic training in Texas, and I saw it with like 4 other guys, and I'm gonna like when I get scared, I just clench up like a hummingbird. I don't like scream or anything. I'm just like, ugh, at worst, I might grunt or something. But this guy, Gecko, he's from Hawaii. He like screamed, and then it was like a chain reaction, and like everyone around just laughed at us because like the kid's face pops out when they're like walking through the house, and my closet in AIT in our dorm, the light would always flicker when you first turn it on. And so I was so freaked out by Sinister that I would leave the light on for a while before I'd open my closet so I wouldn't have to deal with the flicker effect to freak me out. Really? And the other one, of course, my favorite horror, it's The Shining with Puritans, The Witch from 2015. I fucking love that movie. Yeah, and cool. if you understand directing and stuff, this guy did so much work. He spent 4 years studying like the Puritan Bible, Puritan like judicial scripts and stuff from court hearings against witches, and he had child actors. He had multiple animals in the set. Like he did all these cardinal sins that a first-time director does not do. He filmed it in bumfuck nowhere. He had people who knew actual Puritan craftsmanship make historically accurate farm and housing and stuff for this movie. It's perfect. I think it made like 10 times its budget, even though it's like it was panned by fans because they expected it to be like a real spooky, like a ghost witch story. But it's perfect. It has balls. They kill a child character in the first 5 minutes. It's amazing. When you're willing to kill kids in your story, you raise the bar for everyone to be scared that anyone is expendable. And that's what you watch like Jurassic Park. The kids are never going to fucking die in that movie. As good as it is, there's a level of suspense that's not there because they're not going to kill kids. And that's what The Witch does. So definitely watch that movie.
Here.
Yep, well put, man. All right, Pete.
Okay, before I answer this question, define a horror movie.
Define a horror movie. I see. Again, I don't really like. I don't know how to describe. I don't know.
That's it. Because I like what Moist was saying. Like he likes
so non sci-fi, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
Those usually go.
No,
close,
sci-fi is included.
Horror
Sci-fi is
sci-fi.
included, man.
Horror
So-
sci-fis are included.
Yeah. Okay.
Sci-fi-
Okay. Well, then I don't.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, a pure terrestrial, Earth-based, set on Earth horror movie. I would say Frankenstein.
Oh yeah.
You know, from the 30s. You can't go wrong with a classic.
Boris
Yeah,
Karloff all the way.
You can never go wrong with the classics. That's true. Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, there's a lot of horror out there, and it's very hard for me to pick one. But gun to my head, I would say the original 1979 Alien.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Can't disagree
Hail
with
to the
that.
beat.
I
That
agree.
Yes.
that
agree,
is
Mr. Pete,
pure
but I
classic
see-
horror.
Hey, Mr. Pete, you win the internet, man.
Mr. Pete, I do agree with you, but I myself like The Thing and Quiet Place and Alien. I view all those as sci-fi as opposed to horror, even though they are very much horror based. That's my distinction, but I agree with you. It is a great horror.
You put Alien. You could set Alien on Earth, like in the middle of some abandoned industrial park. It's horror. It's classic.
For sure, yeah, for
It's a
sure.
slasher.
And it's claustrophobic, you know, because
Yeah.
you're kind of stuck in a place you can't get out. There's a monster, and it's not just some sort of monster. It's an amazing sort of satanic alien kind of monster, and he's intelligent, and he's coming to get you. He's coming to get you, man.
Yeah.
Perfect organism.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna
exactly.
say,
I mean,
proper
Geiger,
Jeremy in the
the
chat
guy who
defined-
designed it, H.R. Geiger, he's an artist. You know, he was a surrealist artist, and sort of with a satanic twist. And he designed this creature, and you know, this whole franchise is based on Geiger's artwork. And Mr. Pete, you rock, man. You rock.
Hey, Combat.
Great taste.
Combat. Did you watch the Giger documentary before he died? That was on Netflix.
Yeah. You know, he was a buddy with Dali, Salvador Dali. He was a huge
that is awesome. I
surrealist.
love Dolly.
Oh man, you know, that was an eye opener to me, you know. But anyway, it's not my turn yet, man. Let Mr. Pete finish his story, right?
Well, yeah. You know, you can't go wrong with Alien. You can't go wrong with Frankenstein. I do like the slasher films and stuff, but I would go with definitely Frankenstein and Aliens as the best examples of horror, because like what I forgot who pointed it out, but like you don't have to have all these side plots, these romances. You just focus on the main part of the story.
FS up. Just like get to the story and FS up. Keep it PG.
And like, if I may interject,
Go ahead.
The moist.
I said,
If I may interject,
if I may interject, I can't do a Cecil voice, but no, I'm working on a horror novel right now, and it's based on like it's inspired by stuff from like The Conjuring, Paranormal Activity, things like that, and like I'm basing it on things that have happened in my own life, not paranormal, but just like putting it in like a college sense, but it's not going to be like a college like horror slasher thing. But it's like I want to like make people care about the characters and care about their decisions and like what goes on in their lives. And I'm basing the characters on people I've grown up with and I know very well, and they've all been like, "Hey, hell yeah, do it. You're the intellectual of all of us. We're just a bunch of dumbasses." So I'm like,
Cool
all right,
stuff,
well,
Moist.
let's do it.
That's cool stuff, Moist.
And so I'm like trying to like make a horror novel based around like characters that you care about. And then whenever they make a dumbass decision, you're just like, "Oh, don't do that. Don't do
That's
that."
awesome.
And then when it happens, you're just like, "Oh shit! Well, here we go," and it goes from there. But and the thing is, with like a lot of horror, slasher flicks and things like that, it's just a bunch of filler characters that 13-year-olds are going to see their first pair of boobs. That's essentially what we're seeing.
How far along are you on that again?
I said I have the outline completed. Written, I have about 30 pages, but I have the complete outline, and basically I'm just like going. It's just point to point, and I'm my deadline that I'm setting for myself is November 2019. So.
Okay. Well, if you want any help ironing out some ideas, or if you feel like you're straying out, feel free to ask me, because I also love to write. And I used to write so much that I would never finish a story because I'd keep on spanning off on all these ideas. So I've learned, though. I've learned how to keep it shorter. So
same exact problem where I just be like, all right, so I'm gonna do this, and then and I'd never finish it, or I'd just be like, all right, well, I have point A to point B, but for this story, I have point A to point Z. I know exactly how I want to get there, but writing the story of what just exactly happens, I have a outline, but just filling everything in, that's the fun part. And to me, I'm excited, I'm fun, I'm ready for it. And now that I'm fucking done with school next week, let's go.
Hell yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it.
This is what I like about you people. I mean, you guys are all smart. You're all creative. You actually, you add to the interwebs, You guys rock, man. I love being in this group. We are the new Rat Pack, Am I right or am I right?
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're right. I have an idea for now. See, I guess I'm like partially dyslexic. I can't even say the word.
Can't even say the goddamn word, man.
Because I hate to read, I hate to write, but I do have, like George Lucas, I have a lot of great ideas. And here's what I think is a pretty original idea. Now, if anybody wants to borrow this and write it like in a book or a novel or a comic book, feel free to use it. Now, we all know that time travel has been done to death, but something we don't see a lot in sci-fi is limited time travel. And I'll give you a point. Harry Turtledove wrote this book where these bad guys from the future, they have a time machine, but they can only go back 200 years.
Okay. Putting limits on it so they can't just go willy-nilly.
Right. They can't go anywhere. Here's my idea for a limited time travel story. These scientists, they invent a time machine. The way it works is you take a photograph of an event that happened in the past or whatever, and you put it into the machine, and you can go to where that picture was taken when it was taken. It has something to do with light energy photons.
There's a specific name for that, sort of.
Oh, somebody came up with the idea already. See, I didn't know.
No, but I mean the whole idea of picture taken of the dead and kind of, there's.
This has nothing to do with the dead. This is time traveling.
Okay, okay, sorry.
This isn't like bringing somebody back to life with a photograph.
I think what 6thScale. I think you're Sinister, or that was the picture.
Yeah, something like that. Camera obscura, that comes to mind. You know what I mean?
Sorry, what do you think of the idea?
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, but the thing is, I can't, write. You can't, I can't read that good, so I'm stuck. So, if anybody wants to go with that idea, feel free to do so.
I'll tell you what. Brandon Moist is going to write your story, and I'll draw and Photoshop your cover for your novel.
Well, 6thScale, Mr. Pete, and
yes.
I've been working in corporate America for 2.5 years by now.
All right.
I'm only 24, going on 25. I'm like, okay, I want to change the fucking game here. And what I'm seeing right now, after following World Class Bullshitters, EVS, Geeks and Gamers, all them, that's how I got to meet up with the Rookie Critic here, and that's why I'm here right now.
Yeah.
There is a need for creativity, and just not creativity in a sense of it's just limited. There's just a need for a new outlet for creativity.
No, dude, I understand what you're saying. There's a need for honest creativity.
Exactly.
There's a need for new concepts. There's a need for people to put their balls on the table and say, this is what we're going to do. I understand what you're saying, man.
No, it's what I want to do. I want to create a platform, whether it's just a nonprofit or just a basic company, just so people can market their ideas to be exactly what Mr. Pete had here. He's like, I'm not a writer, but I have this great idea. I want to make a platform that writers that want to write great stories but might have that writer's block can meet up with people like Mr. Pete that has a great idea for a story and get them to collaborate together to create a story that could potentially, who knows what's going to happen to the entertainment industry, that might blow up. So
I understand what you're saying, but I also see a problem there.
Coming in here.
Because somebody might take an original idea and run with it and make it their own. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you'd have to have some sort of a legal consensus or some sort of, you know what I mean? Moral.
Yeah, you have to have some sort of agreement.
Yeah, exactly. Because intellectual properties, you know, the reason why our IPs are so shit today is because we have, you know, a corporate greed and a cockamamie ideology, you know, running amok with our IPs. And we also have people stealing ideas or whatever, you know. Well, so I understand what you're saying, but you have to make like, if you want to make a platform, you have to really address that factor. I think.
And so, I got you covered. I work in corporate compliance, so I know all the loopholes.
We're all smart dudes, man. That's what I love. This we are the new Rat Pack. We are the new Rat Pack.
The thing is, like, this is something I've thought about at work all these days. Like, I mean, I got into freaking work. It took 2 hours to get to work today, like, because of freaking traffic. But I was sitting there, but like when I'm sitting there in traffic, I'm thinking of all these ideas. Like, how the hell can I get out of this? Just going to corporate America.
I feel you, man.
Can I just interrupt there for a moment? I think Black Angus and we had the same idea, but in different circumstances.
But it's like how can I make? It's like I the community that I really love is entertainment, and people like Black Angus, like giving up, and Black Angus. You know, media, like yourself, Rookie Critic, giving us these platforms, YouTube itself. I mean, hell, giving us
YouTube for sure. It's the best platform.
The thing is, YouTube and streaming is the future.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I agree.
And it's not like, okay, we can think of ourselves as assholes. Let's get ahead of it and like take advantage of what we can while we can. But this is
Listen, Brandon Morris, I don't want to be like a repetitive engine, but are you aware of the copyright directive drawn up by the European Parliament?
I am. And
Article 11 and Article 13.
I am skeptical of it. I say my degree is international relations, and I focused mainly on like terrorism and things like that, but I also do economic shit. But
listen, dude, if this stuff comes to fruition, it's going to kill a large parts of the internet. You know what I mean?
I feel like, honestly, it's one of the things that I feel like it could get repealed. I'm saying, oh my God, that's my central Pennsylvania accent. Repelled.
No, I understand what you're doing. No, but my point is they're going to try. They're going to try it, and they're going to put all their weight into it, you know. Because
they're going to try to do it.
They don't want people like us creating content.
But the thing is, when it comes to it, like, and the sad thing is, like, when I worked on the Hill, it all comes down to money. And whenever it comes down to whoever has the most money is going to pay. But the big companies are going to claim the copyright are going to have money. But if you can get enough adverse issues that go along with regulatory agencies that they don't know they don't know how
I think what we really need to do, like us as content creators, is to spread the word to the general populace of VPN connections. You know what I mean? Bypass Article 11 and the whole copyright directive. Get some really solid VPNs in place and stimulate people to join the VPNs. And then fucking write out the bullshit. I mean, how long can it last? How long will YouTube block Europe? You know, it's not going to be longer than half a year. You know what I mean? Everybody get VPNs. Get everybody, you know, to get into VPNs.
And if you look at where the money flows are going to be going within the next 10 years, like live TV, like TV itself, aside from like the news networks, I feel like are going to die out.
Yeah, it's just going to be. Yeah, it's just going to be news and sports.
Brandon Moist, now you're making the most crucial point of all, because this whole idea of the EU copyright directive is to bring back the power balance to traditional media, such as newspapers and TV. Nobody's watching TV anymore.
No.
Nobody's reading newspapers anymore. And that's what this copyright directive is about. You know, they want to silence our voices on YouTube, you know, on the internet, and shift it back to the old state media. That's what's going on. It's a moneymaker machine. You know what I mean?
Rookie Critic, what's your thoughts on all of this here?
Sorry, I've been posting some links in the chat for channels for you guys, kind of listening in a little bit. You said you're talking about the Article 13 a little bit for the copyright, or
you brought us all on here, so I'm saying let's get your take on all of this here.
All right. Well, I mean, I think as far as like YouTube goes, that I wish that YouTube had competition of some kind, because this is currently the main platform for us to use. But I really think that there should be some competition with it. And for you're talking about cable and the news networks and stuff. I mean, yeah, it does seem like they're trying to take it back. And I mean, I think that they almost could if Article 13 goes through, because there'll be a lot less YouTubers or people, you know, their sub bases will drop with that. And, you know, if Netflix and all the streaming things become really expensive to pay for, some people might just want to keep their cable and have something random on without needing to pay a whole bunch for streaming services. But yeah, it's the platform for people to have their creative ideas to express, that there needs to be something out there. And right now, YouTube seems to be the most lucrative.
But no, I think I completely agree with you. I think that it will live on. And just like what you said, if like, if say Disney and all that wants to break away from YouTube, please do so. Well, then you can also let this platform YouTube out there for people to, you know, express their creative ability. And that also does not eliminate the fact that people could still create or still criticize or praise Disney's products without you.
See, the thing is, when the internet started in earnest and YouTube started in earnest, everybody had a voice and you could say whatever the fuck you wanted, because we have the power of free speech. But now we're being censored. We're being censored left and right, not just by the thought police, but also by the commercial police, because there's you know, monetary issues involved. And, you know, it's a perfect storm between ideology and greed.
Yep.
Who is the driving force between that Article 13? Is it the governments in Europe, or is it the entertainment?
Mr. Pete, can I explain this to you?
Yeah, because I don't know the full details of it.
Article 13 is just a sub part of a copyright directive that includes a whole bunch of laws. And the most problematic are Article 11, which is what popular people say the meme ban, and Article 13, which is the link tax. So, yeah, actually, in essence, what it is they want to shift the power balance from new content creators, such as us on the internet, you know, back to newspapers and TV. And, you know, it's not going to work because people are going to revolt. Like we have the revolt in France over gasoline taxes and fuel taxes. People are going to revolt over internet taxes and internet restrictions as well. But they are going to try, because the powers that be, the globalists, the traditionalists, you know, they're in sort of a death grip because the internet is becoming too powerful. You understand what I mean?
Right. They don't want to lose their power base.
Exactly. So yeah, Article 13 is a copyright directive, but they incorporate a whole bunch of things into it, and in essence, you know, YouTube is not going to wait around to be sued by a whole bunch of people under the new law of the copyright directive. So what they're going to do is just shut down access to certain parts of the world, like Europe. They have done it in Spain and they have done it in Germany, and just ride out the storm until it's gone. So this whole thing, in the end, it's going to be okay. But for now, the people in Europe are fucked because they're being censored. Censorship is always wrong. I don't care what your political or ideological background is. Censorship is always wrong.
As a student of history, censorship is fucking wrong. From the left, from the right, it's
Brandon Moist, this Article 13 is Nazi book burning. This is what's happening.
No. And the thing is that's literally, I mean, this might take it to a next level. But when I was in Germany, I was in Germany in 2017, and then I went to Prague with a good friend, and then him and myself took a great day trip, and we went to Auschwitz in Poland. We were like, we could go to Krakow, like see the old street. We're like, let's go to Auschwitz, and like, you want to go to the extreme of censorship? Like, oh my god!
There you go, man.
Beliefs. Like,
and the perverted thing is, they are using Auschwitz and the Nie wieder sort of mentality to censorship us in Europe.
No,
that's what they're doing.
It's like, I mean, I stood at the fucking Creamery number 3, where millions of people lost their lives.
Yeah.
You cannot censor. Like, we fucking learned this lesson. Like, we have a new medium. We have the internet.
Yep.
Let people speak. Okay.
The thing for you guys in America, if you have it written into your constitution, it's law. In Europe, it's not law. We don't have free speech laws. You know what I mean?
I can tell you right now.
You guys are lucky.
With social media, it's not written completely into our constitution, so it's
a gray area, but still, I think the free speech laws on the internet in the America region would be defended more than they would be in Europe. Would you agree or not?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, dude. If anything happened, Texas would just secede, and everyone moved to Texas that wants to be free.
Too hot for me.
You know, Dallas Cowboys suck, but Texas is a
That's why I hang my head in tennis.
Hey, if I can also shout out here, I'm a huge Civil War nerd.
Nice.
I live right next to the Manassas battlefield, so if everyone's near Manassas National Battlefield Park,
Stonewall Jackson
out there. I am a member of the Manassas National Battlefield Trust, protecting land. Shout out to the trust. But I'm also a reenactor. So I'm one of them guys that runs out there in Civil War uniforms.
Okay, dude. That's cool.
And I represent 5th Texas Company F. So
you're literally Hitler.
No.
You're on the wrong side of the Mason Dixon line, boy.
You're on the wrong side of history, and this is problematic.
If I may interject, I do a Confederate impression, but I also am working on a perfect impression of the 51st Pennsylvania Company F that I had my great-great-grandfather in. So,
salute to you, man. Salute to you.
A lot of money into that uniform.
Salute to you. And part of the problem in Europe is because we haven't had a real fight in over, 70 years.
Well, yeah, you had those Balkan wars recently, so
you did. Yeah, you did have them. Yeah.
Yeah, I know a couple of Croatians. Yeah, they can't stand us.
Actually, my part of my heritage is Greek, and my Greek cousins, they fought in the Yugoslav war. So that was the 1990s. The Serbs against the Croatians and against the. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. Those were bad days. I remember those. It was on CNN a lot. Yeah, I remember those days. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Black Angus, were you in the military in the 90s or not?
No. I'm only 26. I got out in 2016. I was in Afghanistan the end of 13 into 14. I came back in February of 14. I didn't see a lot of comment. My service was I was regular Army, and they broke up our companies by squads. So we did squad deployments to different little bases, and we were like the security for the bases for the Special Forces missions, and we lived with Afghan Army and Afghan Special Forces and civilian mine reduction, which is just locals who they may agree with, Al Qaeda or Taliban, but they have the Pashtu-Wali vendetta against someone who killed their family. So common enemies is kind of the background to the civilian mine reduction group. It was really good time. I appreciate the culture over there, like maybe not Islamic per se, but like the culture that they have. They're worried about real life things. That's something I don't like about the West.
I understand what you mean. I understand what you mean because it's pragmatic, because people have to survive. But like culture in general, it's a bunch of bullshit because they suppress fucking everything. They suppress everything. You know what I mean? Islamic culture is bullshit, man. Sorry.
If I may interject.
love his intro.
I speak Arabic. I lived in Jordan. Black Angus, thank you for your service, man.
Oh, it's no problem.
Thank you.
It's not an easy place to serve.
Sure.
I was just going to say something I appreciate about that area that I was in rural Afghanistan, and as cool as this be able to talk about and bitch about Star Wars and stuff, I think we take it for granted. And I envy their simplicity in a way. Like, they're not worried about Facebook updates and Twitter and whatnot. And if the Avengers 4 trailer's coming out, they're worried about like, oh, I hope my pin for my camels and livestock doesn't break. I hope my kid doesn't step on an IED.
I've been wondering about shit like this. Like a person like you've been a combat medic, and you're kind of engaged in all of these discussions on the internet that are not really relevant to survival, and so I think for you also it's a bit of escapism, all these IP discussions, they're escapism also. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about the West is like we have this in like over there in like at least the rural east of like Islamic country and stuff, like they don't really have that. They might have like cultural things they pass on, storytelling, whatever, but in general they just live day to day off of necessity. They don't have the privilege of having escapism be the forefront of life, and I think that's a problem we have where I've seen talk about with like sedentary life, where it's like you go to work in very sedentary jobs, or like even if it's a factory job, it's just like work at FedEx, you put boxes in the truck, whatever, and then you go home and you just binge entertainment for the other 50% you're awake, and we're just constantly fueling ourselves with entertainment instead of doing things, myself included.
I think this whole entertainment conundrums that we're enwrapped in, it's sort of a distraction of the stuff that's actually going on. I think we're being played like fools, man. I think all this stuff is happening and we're being blinded by it. But the way society is evolving, it has nothing to do with the IPs that we're interested in. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that we're in a time that entertainment's evolving, and I mean the global landscape in itself. I mean, you look at China, Japan, South Africa, Central Africa itself. I mean, how if you look at Virunga on Netflix, please check that out. That's a great Netflix documentary.
Which one?
The landscape of entertainment has changed. And I think what's available to us is a global landscape of things that we can partake in. And I feel like if we do, like, it makes us greatly informed. But the thing is, we also need to take in the slants that each documentary film takes into account. You're going to have things coming in from the hard left, coming in from the hard right. You need to take that into consideration. But I think this global connectivity is a good thing if we can take it in the right way.
But that Brandon Moist, I understand what you're saying, but that takes strength, and that takes
it takes a lot of strength. And
that takes a lot of strength, man.
Your own views too.
Yeah.
As long as we all stay strong and stay together in our message.
But don't you think we're being played both by the extreme left and the extreme right? You know,
yes, we are.
Oh,
yes, both sides.
I say I worked on Capitol Hill. I will not reveal my political affiliation just for the sake of just YouTube and
smart move. Smart move.
I don't want to do that here.
You're at the Rookie Critic channel. We're not into doxing anyway. You know what I mean?
I think we can all agree that we are fans and are pro free speech, that we're able to all come here and share our ideas.
For sure,
That's what brought us all together. So
sure.
it doesn't matter about your political affiliation. It's just that we believe in that simple fact.
Right.
No,
right.
Listen, dude, who was the last one talking?
At Dawn.
Oh, me, at Dawn.
Yeah, dude. See, the thing is, both the left and the right, they're trying to subvert. They're trying to draw us into their political spectrums. But many people, they just want to be pragmatic. You know, they want to do their job. They want to enjoy their IPs, and they just want to live their life. You know,
well, that's for us. And
you know
what Black Angus was saying, what he experienced in Afghanistan, like people just living their everyday life, just worrying about day-to-day stuff. You're right. You're right in that aspect, that they're trying to draw us away from focusing on that. And that's what we should be focused on, the day-to-day. It's great that we're able to come on here and we're able to talk about all this entertainment stuff. It's fucking awesome.
Hey, Rookie Critic, you're the man. You deserve every 200 subscribers you have, man. Fucking right.
Yep, thanks. I just put everybody's links in the chat, everybody in the chat as well, to link everybody so everybody can hopefully find each other and gain at least one new sub. So that's good. So I think that was some good conversation. I think we can start wrapping it up a little bit now. But before we
you didn't ask me about my favorite horror movie, man.
We'll save that one for next time.
No, I'm going to tell you right now.
Okay.
The Day After. Has anybody ever seen The Day After?
The nuclear Holocaust movie.
That's the one, Pete. Yes, that's a true.
I don't really consider that a horror movie.
But it is, because all horror movies are bullshit.
It's a disaster movie.
Ghost stories, zombie movies, satanic stuff. It's all bullshit. But The Day After, that's true horror.
I consider it more of a disaster movie, though. The Day After.
I'll fight you in the parking lot. Sorry, man. Just joking. Okay. Okay, Rookie Critic, I'm done.
Oh, hey, Rookie. One more thing we can talk about. People were asking earlier, Avengers 4. So from what I know, Avengers 4 was supposed to drop the trailer Wednesday, but they pushed it back for the Bush funeral to tomorrow. I'm not sure what time it's dropping, but it's supposed to drop tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Maybe the Thursday night football game, maybe.
That would make sense.
Maybe.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Oh, yeah, hopefully. But
that's right. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, there might be a bowl game or something. Maybe it'll go on that.
Are you guys still? Are we still hyped for Avengers 4, or do we think that it's not going to be as good?
I'm hyped for a bowl season for my degenerate gambling senses, but I'm also hyped for Avengers 4.
Do you guys think that Thanos will be a main person in it? I mean, I kind of don't want him to be in it because he was done so well in the other one. The more they show him, I bet they'll kind of, make us not like him as much, No,
I agree that he should not. Like, they should focus on the other characters of Iron Man getting off the planet, that sort of thing. But then it should be in the background. And I'm not too hyped about the Captain Marvel movie and her connection to this, but I am looking forward to it as well.
Yep.
I think it's worth trying to make
with my kid, and she was devastated when half of the characters died at the end of the movie, and I had to explain.
They're gonna come back.
Yeah, but as a kid, you don't know that.
Just like fucking ashes, they were like floating ashes. I had to explain that to her.
I just watched Infinity War yesterday, and the Peter Parker dying in Iron Man's hands still tears me up.
That's pretty gnarly, man.
Performed so well, even though there's a Spider-Man 2 coming out, etc. They're gonna bring him back. It worked. It was perfect.
It is pretty good.
I agree with Rookie. I think they should keep Thanos in the background and wait to show him for like the climax ending of how they finish this phase. But no, I think it's really bullshit that they're trying to make Marvel the lead and the most powerful, because if anyone should be, it would be Thor, given his story arc so far and his coming up in Avengers 3. If you had to make anyone the leader power-wise, it should be Thor. Even though
That's it, man. The Punisher is sniping all those motherfuckers from the corner.
See,
Punisher kills the Marvel universe.
What I think is that Avengers 4 should be them getting people back or something, and then have something else to do instead of fight Thanos. I just feel like that'd be kind of a waste of time. Like, because he's already done. He's already hung up his hat. He don't care no more. He did his thing. He's done.
What do you guys think of crossovers? Like in the 70s, you had DC and Marvel crossovers, and they're kind of thinking about bringing that whole idea back. You know, what do you guys think about like a DC universe, Marvel universe crossover? You think that would revive the whole genre or not?
I don't think it'd revive it, but it would be something like, oh, let's see how this goes. This might be cool. I mean, at least one movie would probably be good. With that.
Well, yeah, I mean, Warner Brothers and Disney are going to have to get all their ducks in a row first.
I can't see them agreeing on anything.
Never going to happen. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I want to ask you guys one thing. Judge Dredd.
Movie or book?
Okay. All right, now I'm going to go into one of my rants, but I'll keep it quick.
Ooh, yeah.
There are things I like and dislike about the Stallone Dredd. And there are things I like and dislike about the Carl Urban.
Yeah.
The Stallone version was more loyal to the source material. The Dredd version,
good. Mean Machine was pretty good.
The Urban version, while more gritty, more violent, basically, it was not loyal to the source material.
Yeah.
The uniforms were different. The tower blocks. They're named like peach trees,
Buffy knee pads, Buffy elbow pads.
Yeah.
I mean, it's chicken heads, mutants.
Right.
Bring that in.
I mean, no mutants, no. It felt like it didn't feel like the future.
Pete, do you think it was like with the Carl Urban version? Do you think that was a budget question? You think they just didn't have the budget to bring any mutants in or whatever?
No, I really think they wanted to do I really think they wanted to do their own take on the Judge Dredd mythos.
Because they had the Anderson sort of psyops, which is pretty good. That like a sort of a rapey kind of thing.
But she was wearing a man's uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't that good looking. I mean, well, that uniform.
She wasn't good looking.
Her face was nice. Yeah, so what I'm hearing from the upcoming TV show, I heard it's going to be a mix of both. So I hope that's a good thing. The TV show definitely is. It's going to need the satire.
My nick is 1/6 combat. Invest in 1/6 scale, 1/12 scale, and 3 3/4 inch Judge Dredd figures, because those are just going to go up in value. They're so niche, You have the 2000 AD stuff, the ABC Warriors, the model kits. Invest in that. A model kit that was brought out for $12 is now almost $70. Buy that shit up, man.
Yeah, if I see anything Judge Dredd here in the States, I'll definitely
buy it. Forget about the comics. Just get the merchandise, like the badges, the LARPing stuff, the model kits, the 1/6 dolls. Buy all of that stuff. Marvel Legends, because Marvel Legends brought out Judge Dredd figure as well. Buy it. It's gonna make money.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. If I see it, yes.
All right. So on that note, that well said. We're gonna have the chat ask us any questions that they want. If anybody,
I love questions.
If anybody in the chat wants to ask any of us some questions, ask them now, and we'll go through some of those. And
we'll be silent forever.
Yeah, and then we'll take some suggestions after that. So first of all, we got the Riot Kitty says, "What is your favorite movie version of Spider-Man?" Let's start with At Dawn.
The first Tobey Maguire one, for sure. It's definitely my favorite. I think it's the most true to the actual story, the canon of Spider-Man. The Flash has done the best. The Flash character, the Mary Jane Peter Parker connection is done the best. I didn't mind Homecoming, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. And the Andrew Garfield movies don't really exist to me.
Yeah, let's just shove those aside in the corner.
Yeah.
And Angus.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2, Tobey Maguire. with rewatching, like I haven't watched in a while, but rewatching Amazing Spider-Man's, something that really annoyed me is that he's supposed to be a poor kid, and yet he's like making all this fancy shit, and he's like a cool hipster skateboarder, and like no one seems to pick on him. Didn't seem like, you know, what Spider-Man is. Spider-Man's supposed to be like this dweeb in school, and
exactly
kind of
Flash.
maybe he comes up into himself once he's like an adult and a photographer, but he's always failing in life. That is the cost of being Spider-Man, is failing as Peter Parker. And I never felt that with Andrew Garfield. Holland is good, but the movie isn't good. I think they kind of redeemed him in Avengers 3. Especially him being like the dumb kid with the Avengers. They really shoehorned him into Civil War because Jeff Hicks kind of made me appreciate Civil War on a different level after hearing his take on it, where it's like, Black Panther has like the best story arc in the whole movie and the seriousness, but then you got Parker being thrown in there and he's all like, oh, wow, what's this? Oh, and he's just like some ADD kid. He's definitely written in a kind of Deadpool way for these like short attention span adults of today that I don't identify with.
I gotcha. Moist?
No, the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man's was the first ones that I was really introduced to. And no, Spider-Man 1 and 2, I like those a lot. So I don't have a whole lot to say. That was already covered. But, I mean, Spider-Man and Mary Jane. Love them.
All right. Well put. Pete?
Best, what's the question again? Best Spider-Man?
Best movie version of Spider-Man, yep.
Oh, okay. Definitely Peter Parker, Sam Raimi 2002 Spider-Man. Although I felt Tobey Maguire was a little too old to play Peter Parker, other than that, it was as near perfect as a comic book movie as you can make it. Very, very close to the source material. They took a little from Marvel 616 universe, a little from Marvel Ultimate Universe. It was pretty well done. Yes. So,
all right. Yep. I think everybody would agree with that for the most part.
Now, if you were to ask me who the best Spider-Man ever was the Spider-Man who got married at Shea Stadium back in the 80s with Stan Lee.
I'm not even aware of that.
Yeah, they did this promotion thing. Stan Lee, Marvel Comics. At Shea Stadium, before a game, he married. He was wearing the outfit and everything. He married Mary Jane Watson on the pitcher's mound, and Stan Lee was the priest.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
I'm just that really happened though. Look it up.
Okay, at some point I'll look into some of the older stuff for sure. But Combat, your favorite Spider-Man. Or your favorite Spider-Man film?
My favorite Spider-Man film?
Yeah.
Listen, dude, I think they're all kind of bogus, all I can tell you, my very first comic that I ever bought, and I didn't even read back then, was The Amazing Spider-Man 129, the introduction of the Punisher, and that was in the 1970s. So, dude, I'm so old school. I'm not even into movies, so just skip it.
Okay. Well, I kind of feel you on that in a way, but just not from the old school point, but more from the lack of comic knowledge. Just for that, I kind of like the Homecoming one just because of the MCU movies kind of got me interested in comics in the first place. So it was opposite for me. Most people read comics, then they get into the movies and cartoons and whatever. But I was the opposite kind of, where I'm just What
was that chick name that played Mary Jane?
In the newest one?
No, like
Kirsten
Dunst.
Kristen Dunst, she was hot. Yeah, that's what I like.
She was all right.
She was hot, man.
She was good because she was cute. She wasn't too
glory hole. Yeah,
much. I'd say she was cute, but with the Homecoming, I think it fits well within the MCU. And I never read the comics, so I don't know. I don't have that internal attachment to what he was. I only know him. I only know him from how he's been portrayed in the films. So
I like all the Spider-Man movies, actually. And I think we're living in great times, and we're kind of wasting great times because, these Spider-Man movies, I remember in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, we didn't have nothing like that, man. We had some sort of whack-ass Captain Marvel, whack-ass Captain America, but these movies, they're all pretty good, you know? And all I want is them to stick kind of to canon, respect the characters, you know, respect the creators, and that's all I want. And you can make them black, Hispanic, you know, whatever the fuck, just stick to canon a little bit.
I agree, man. Well said. Well said. Just speaking about that for a sec, though, and about the Spider-Man topic, since we're on it. Now, I don't really like the channel Movie Bob all that much, but sometimes he has videos that I do like. And one of them was where he talked about how he would have done a Spider-Man film in the MCU, and his suggestion was, you know, have a retired Tobey Maguire Spider-Man be brought back into the fold instead of Tony going to a young new Spider-Man. He goes in season to retired
I think
one.
We need to vote. The ultimate Spider-Man actor, Tobey Maguire. I raise my hand.
I don't like him, but I can't say he's a bad Spider-Man. I just don't like him.
Who wants Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man?
Tobey Maguire is, although I said he was a little too old to be playing Spider-Man, he's Spider-Man.
I just hate it when he has his crying face.
Mr. Pete is with me. That's too
moist.
Moist and Angus.
Yeah, what?
So, Cat's having another asthma attack. You got to give him his inhaler quick.
Ah, fucking hell.
What were you asking?
Right back in a second.
Who's the best Spider-Man actor? That's what the question is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I still stick with Maguire.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. So we're all in agreement. And you know why? Because they stuck to canon.
Well, here's my thing. I said it the other day. When I was a kid, I saw all 3 prequels in theaters. I love Star Wars. I got into it because of Darth Maul. But for some reason, I guess I thought I would only get to see one movie, and my dad was going to make me go see Star Wars Episode 2, and I never knew him as a Star Wars fan, so it was weird. I was so set on seeing Spider-Man because there's just something, like, for a kid that, like, it's primal as a kid. You just like, man, Spider-Man fits everything you would love to do, swinging at the web and stuff, like crawling everywhere, having a mask on. And like Stanley talked about this, he said what's great about Spider-Man as a character is that he was like one of the first guys to like have a closed mask, and so you can envision yourself regardless of age, color, sex, whatever. You can envision you in the mask, and it's just, it really does hit that primal child fantasy as opposed to Superman or even Batman, anything. And so rewatching him as an adult, it captures that child like wonderment watching original 2 Spider-Mans. So it's just
okay. The moist is back.
Applause for Black Angus.
The moist.
You said it, man. You said it. Black Angus. You said it, man.
All right, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Yeah, like what Black Angus said. No, that was really my first introduction to the character because I was never really into the comics and the Marvel comics, the Marvel story, the whole, like, growing up. So seeing Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 in theaters was awesome. So Tobey Maguire, you know, that he's my Spider-Man, but
Kirsten Dunst.
I think I still have it home. Like the original, like, thing that you could, like, hit to, like, launch, like, spider goo out of your wrist. With like a
no. Yeah, I agree with Brandon Moyes on this. They kind of messed up with that, but hey, who cares what the web's coming out of? Yeah,
it's like who cares what's
coming out left, right, and center. You know what I mean?
I am on top of the middle school playground right now, shooting things at kids that who knows what chemicals are in these things. That was not, so for that memory. Tobey Maguire is like my Spider-Man, but like I'm open for other interpretations. But I mean,
what was the guy? What was the middle guy like between
Andrew Garfield?
Oh, Garfield.
Yeah, Garfield. Yeah.
That like this funky ass camera sling. That I don't know.
Oh, it's funny too. You're talking about the web shooter and stuff. Looking back, the organic shooters make the most sense for the setting because it's like he has no money. Sure, he's a smart kid, but like, who's he going to go to try to help make this formula to shoot? You know, to have webs that hold like 500 pounds plus.
The empowering thing and the original sort of storyline was that he was so smart that he built his own web shooters.
No, I
He
get
had
that.
these
I'm just saying,
Spidey
like,
powers, and then he was so smart that he built his own web shooters. I thought that
no,
was
I get that, but I mean, for like a very contained storyline, I think it makes more sense that they're organic. It makes more believable. Or that's not a factor he's thinking of. It's just I have this power, and
like the
it's
whole
on my wrist.
mutant transference kind of thing, and it
Yeah.
becomes internal. Yeah, it's easier in a storyline. It's easier. Yeah, I agree with that. Sure.
Yeah, I believe the I mean, I'm not like, oh, he's got organic shooters. The movie's ruined for me, but it does make sense for a more complicated storyline. Like if Spider-Man were ever to become like a TV series, yeah, you can fit in like mechanical web shooters, but yeah, it's like it doesn't kill the movie for me. I kind of actually prefer the organic shooters over the mechanical ones.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
the only drawback that I see with the organic ones is that it takes away from the factor of how analytical the character is. That he's a scientist, he's an engineer. Early on, he's working with Kirk Connors. As a teenager in high school, he's like a star student. It really takes away from that if he just like has it growing into him. Because it's what makes him a special superhero above the rest, in my opinion. That he's able to analyze the situation as it goes along, rather than having these god.
He can still lift a bus over his head.
Well, yeah, that's true.
The
it is a
thing
comic
that
book movie.
I thought was cool as a kid in the 1970s was the crossovers, And I think with all these contracts, these IP contracts, we're never going to get any cool crossovers anymore. We're not going to get the X-Men joining the Avengers. No matter how much people speculate that's going to happen, it's just not going to happen. We're not going to happen Superman meeting a Batman,
They need to reboot the X-Men franchise first, because I've still yet to see a good X-Men movie. And to me, Logan doesn't
What did you guys think of the last Logan?
You had to open up that can of worms, the X-Men series.
Hold on, I was actually about to say, that was a question in the chat. Favorite X-Men
I haven't seen
movie?
a good one.
Yeah, Logan, for sure. Logan was the best one of all.
The One Wolf Cove says, switch to porn, Rookie. We're losing viewers.
We're losing viewers. I'm taking off my pants.
There we go. But
open mind
combat, if you couldn't vote for Logan, because it's an extended universe movie, what of the initial movies, the Bryan Singer movies and the reboots, would you choose?
Yeah.
Go first, @Dawn.
For me, it would be Days of Future Past, but it's to me that's really like a reboot. It's really like they retouched from the first three, because the first three to me were not good at all, especially the last one. But if I had to choose out of the original batch, including the two new reboots, I would choose Days of Future Past.
What did you guys think of the Sabretooth original Sabretooth in the movies? I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, he was pretty forgettable for me. I actually kind of liked X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh God!
knowing that it's had on a film level, I was entertained very much, and seeing him just go through and kill people. And even though Ryan Reynolds had a short time, I mean, I just kind of liked it. It was, and then he gets the old people, and then they get killed. I was like, well, I didn't really see that coming at that age. So I was like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I'll defend you on that. The people, who the people who really hate X-Men Origins Wolverine?
I assume comic readers.
No, the Deadpool fanboys. They're the ones who didn't do that.
That's a good point.
Deadpool is not even comics, man. Fuck Deadpool.
Yeah, well, so I was going to say, so another question in the chat, though, because I asked a few people if they want to ask us any questions.
Yeah, Friday the 13th, favorite Friday the 13th, I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Well, I just kind of, because we already talked about horror for a little while, so I just kind of switched to a different one that was different. So do any of us have any close family members involved in film business or in the film business at all?
I have a cousin that does porno.
Thank you for sharing that.
Okay, nobody does. All right.
It's complete. No, I do not.
I did have a cousin who was making a distant cousin. I mean distant. I mean, we're first cousins, but I hardly ever talked to him.
Not close.
He was making. Yeah, we're not close. He was making independent movies, but I don't think he's doing that anymore.
Right. Yeah. Same. I don't think any of us are. Otherwise, we'd probably have some type of foot in the door somewhere. We don't.
You don't want to have your foot in the door. That industry.
We'll be the family members that are in the film business. That's what it'll be.
If I had a foot in the door, I'd be the next fucking Aquaman. I'm the moist.
Yep, exactly. You can't see for your live stream, Moist. You need to have a topic called
Actually,
"Is Water
I want
Wet?"
to ask you guys. You're fans of world class bullshitters, right, Geoff?
It's from Doomcock, World Class Bullshitters, some of EBS around the area, kind of.
No, but I mean, Geoff is convinced that he's going to make it in the movie industry, but I just don't see it happening. Because
to Jeff Hicks.
No,
he's not going to make it because he keeps attacking. He's not going to make it.
I just don't see it happening, man.
No, I don't know if he's going to get into movies. He's working on his comic and other forms of entertainment.
He might do some sort of advisory role, but he's not going to direct the movies. He's not going to get enough budget in this current year to start a movie from scratch, and that's kind of what he's aiming for. I really like World Class Bullshitters, and I really like Geoff, but I just don't see him.
I think he's trying to make his own entertainment network.
His comic's pretty good, though. The Han Solo abduction thing is pretty good.
Yeah, he should try to become the next Collider, Geoff. That's what he should try to do.
Yep.
Collider makes me very aggressive, by the way.
Okay.
No, I mean in his own style, not
trigger points.
That's horrible.
Well, to keep anybody from getting aggressive here, there's one more good one that I think we should cap out on, and that is favorite Jedi. Does anybody have a favorite Jedi?
I like.
I'll start. Or
okay, one at a time. Let's start with Angus this time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we didn't finish up the X-Men, so I'll just say quick. I love X-Men 3 and First Class.
Okay. We're talking Jedi now.
Yeah. I just get it out of the way. Jedi, because of the Clone Wars cartoon from like 03, I really like Kit Fisto, even though he gets a bitch death in episode 3. That was supposed to be, even though they didn't show that well, the early deaths of the Jedi with Mace Windu was it was because Palpatine's such a badass. I really love Kit Fisto. I just think he's. I love to see more Jedi like that, or to like give us backstory to an alien Jedi, like focusing on freaking humans. Like, why are we in a galaxy far, far away? Don't keep watching fucking humans every movie.
Exactly. And that's why the Black Series characters like Forlom and all the droids. That is the main staple of Star Wars. That's what they should build on. Be creative and not all these humanoid characters. I agree with you. Black Angus, you fucking rock. You're a smart guy. Hail to the Black Angus.
Yep. What's funny too, like I never Kit Fisto and Plo Koon are one of my favorites visually, just because their design is so unboring. It's like you have to look at them and go, man, what the hell is that thing? And it's like that thing's gonna wield a lightsaber and shit. Like I don't know, it just seems pretty cool. But I don't have a favorite personally because there's too many, and I actually need to sit down and watch Star Wars again because I actually haven't put in a Star Wars film and actually watched it all the way through in at least 5 years. So,
dude,
I actually need to. I see the Clone Wars show and all the stuff, but
let's have a Rogue One watch party. Let's have a Rogue One watch party because that's the only decent
Rogue
movie.
One. Oh no, I fall asleep there.
Let's do it, dude. Let's
do a holiday special watch party.
Okay,
let's do it
for that as well. Yeah, I'm down for that as well. Either holiday special or Rogue One. I'd say we vote. Rogue One, hand up.
I almost want to say holiday special because the Rogue One bored me.
I vote holiday
special as Boba Fett's introduction. So
exactly.
And actually, I haven't seen holiday special yet.
Let's do it.
Oh, Wangdalorians.
But that's another thing going on. Like when I return, I plan on having more segments with the streams, maybe like some type of watch parties or some type of different type of movie suggestions. I need to actually watch some movies, and it's easy to do, and I don't have to worry about videos or when I'm in school. So I need to actually watch some things that I have on my list, which kind of segues into what I was going to say too. So does anybody have any movie suggestions to watch? Not only for me, but for you guys too. But I haven't seen so many things. So
Repo Man, the original Repo Man with Emilio Estevez, the original Repo Man. Has anyone seen Repo Man?
Is that the comedy where they're
No,
no,
with
Repo
the
Man?
I've seen part of the
remake.
musical.
I saw the Forrest Whitaker one.
no, not that one. The original one from like the early, late 80s, early 90s, Repo Man.
I don't
With
think I've seen
Emilio
that.
Estevez. Let me look it up. Dude, you have to watch that. That's like a science fiction film, you know?
Yeah, I guess I haven't heard of an older Repo Man one, honestly, but I'm writing that one down to
Repo Man and Fire from the Sky. It's like a alien abduction movie. It's really cool as well.
Okay.
Fire from the Sky and Repo Man. Watch that for
Fires from the Sky.
Uncle Combat.
There you go. There you go.
I got a suggestion for you.
Okay.
Time
Maybe
Cop.
this is- Yeah, Time Cop.
Time Cop. With Jean-Claude Van Damme. A classic.
Hey, Mr. Pitt, you do realize that they've been destroying the Death Star for over 40 years now. You've got this thing in your avatar. Which version is this? The Death Star?
That's the Death Star 2.
Death Star 2. Okay. Death Star 2. Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Huh.
I can
Wait,
give you the voice drunk special that I can watch movies. There's 3 movies that I can watch completely shit faced and enjoy them every time, and that is Armageddon, Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
I love that.
Holy Grail.
I have seen that one.
The Martian.
Look on the bright side of life.
Wait, did you say The Martian?
Yeah, I did say The Martian.
Oh, I fucking love The Martian.
Yeah.
That movie was teeth grinding.
Was that the Johnny What's His Face? The Mark
No,
Wahlberg?
it's Matt Damon. Saving
Matt
Matt
Damon.
Damon.
I get some of their faces mixed up.
Ridley Scott.
That movie was horrible.
No.
Yeah, I saw The Martian.
Yeah.
And, so
I wish he died on that planet. That would have been a better story.
That is so harsh, Mr. Pete.
I disagree.
Like he dies at the last minute. That would have been great.
Yep, it's all good. It's all good.
That
I
movie
like that
was so
suggestion though.
uplifting. It was filmed like it was a real NASA mission. Like, yeah, fucking save him, and no, he's Iron Man. Like, it was great. It was good fan service in points. It was interesting.
Yeah, I know these near what do you call it? Like near science fiction fact movies. The best one, and it's always duplicated but never replicated, is 2001: A Space Odyssey. That's the best near actual space movie there is, and where will ever be. Everything else is just an imitation. Gravity, The Martian, Interstellar, they're all knockoffs of 2001.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet either.
Interstellar?
Or Interstellar or 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Interstellar was just garbage, trash, horrible.
No.
Rookie Critic, you haven't seen 2001: Space Odyssey?
No.
God damn it, motherfucker.
I seen like the first 5 minutes maybe, and I was falling asleep, and so I was like,
watch the classic.
Rookie, just watch the
Dude, you
second
have to
act.
watch
Just
classics,
skip to
man.
the second act.
okay, I'll give it. Actually, on my latest video where I talk about movies I haven't seen, I talked about the 2001: A Space Odyssey. That is on my list to see at some point. But it's really far down my list, though. It's not anywhere near the top.
Right.
Not anywhere near
The great
the top.
thing about that movie is you can watch it in parts because it is in deliberate. There's the caveman part. You could skip that. There's the part where
I
they're on
think
the
we
moon.
should
You
have
could
a
skip
movie
that.
punch off. Every significant movie that you haven't watched, I get to punch you in the nuts. with.
Rookie, have you watched the original Planet of the Apes from '68?
I own all of the original Planet of the Apes. Yes, I've seen those.
Okay.
Okay,
Nice,
good.
nice.
List-
Some credibility back. Yes.
Oh yeah,
Great
I love the
series.
first one.
See, I think that's what's kind of funny. Since I am the rookie, I don't claim to be the professional best grandmaster critic of all time. I still have a
No,
lot
you're
to
the one
learn
with
here.
300 subs, motherfucker, so you better know your movies.
Yeah, but I do say I'm a rookie, so I'm not false advertising. So there we go.
I'm saying
in
you
his
should
name.
be the pimp critic because you're pimping all of us out to create your content. You know, from now on, you're the pimp critic.
The Pimp Critic. Yeah, I just need a cigar. They'll be doing pretty good in a cup.
In a cup, yeah.
But yeah, so I'm looking at some suggestions in the chat too. The Casualties of War. Have you guys seen that one?
No, don't watch that. Fuck that movie.
The Rant suggested that one.
Michael J. Fox is such a little bitch in that movie. Like, yeah, I know the premise is like, hey, don't rape people in combat. Sure, I don't need a fucking movie for that. Like, what is it? I think Platoon or one of the classic Vietnam movies like talks about that, and it's like it might be Full Metal Jacket actually. I can't remember, but
Platoon has
like
a scene as well of it.
Yeah. Platoon has like a small scene, and that summarizes the whole fucking movie of Casualties of War.
What about Hard Target? Open-minded movie man suggests Hard Target.
Steven Seagal?
He says 1993. I don't know which one.
I think that is Steven Seagal. I don't know about that.
Yeah, Steven Seagal.
If you're going to watch a Steven Seagal movie, watch Mark.
Black Angus, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you want to join my stream next Thursday and we'll talk War Wounds? So,
sure. As long as it fits with my schedule. Yeah,
address various war wounds. And
I would have joined you today.
And IP wounds.
Yeah, I would have joined you today, but I didn't see the message on my I didn't see the invite.
Dude, Bob Dubois is one of my group members, by the way. It's not me. All right.
Okay. Alrighty.
Hallmark Jeremy is saying you need to watch The Breakfast Club, or he's going to drive down and snack you, rookie.
I know that was in my movies not seen list. He hates.
Oh, you got to see that. All the 80s.
Can anybody explain why I should? Because just based on my impressions, I have no enthusiasm to watch it.
It's because it's almost like real life. That's why so many people like that movie. They identify that movie.
Breakfast Club.
Yeah, because it feels like I'm in that movie. That's why so many people like it. That's why it's
super relatable.
Rookie.
It's a relatable movie. Yes.
Rookie, I'll summarize The Breakfast Club for you. A bunch of shitty kids are in detention for 2 hours. The end.
What's that brunette? What that brunette? I'm gonna look it up on the Google.
Ali Sheedy.
Maybe Jedi Rider Gaming suggests the Band of Brothers. I have not seen that either. I've heard of that. But I don't know what that
World War
is.
II stuff. We need to get past World War II. Listen, you Americans, you need to be more interested in Vietnam War stuff and not so much in World War II stuff. World War II stuff is done. It's done. It's done.
Yeah, but it's fun to do. The Nazis make the best antagonists because they always have the weird creations.
No, but the good thing that Americans behaved like Nazis in the Vietnam War. So, hey, it's a win-win.
Yeah, I guess so.
They'll be making World War II movies for 100 years from now.
We need Korean War movies. So, like the Army Rangers.
Yeah, hey,
got
Black Angus, Chosin, Battle of Chosin. Have you heard?
Yeah, I agree, Angus. All we really have is MASH and. They turned it into a comedy in the TV show.
You know, MASH is great because of the medical humor.
Lack of ammo,
group in the Army. The medical humor you have about death and shit. And then, like, the real moments they have, like, where Hawkeye is in a village getting raided by North Koreans. And then, he tells the mother, like, shut her kid up, and she fucking smothers it to save everyone. It's like, that is some real shit. Like, there's really good stuff underneath the comedy of MASH.
Black really Angus, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Bullet hole to the lungs. Vacuum back or not?
I don't know. I would just put a chest seal and stick the needle in the ribs.
Okay. So, but does the seal need to be airtight, or does it need to have a sort of an airway?
Oh yeah, you gotta burp it multiple times.
Yeah, burp it. Yeah. Motherfuckers, pay attention. Zombie apocalypse. It's coming up.
Yep, going around the corner. All right. So did anybody in the Hangouts have any other movie suggestions? Moist, did you give one already?
If we're going on the war section, we could do the Ken Burns Vietnam War documentary.
I thought you were going to say the Civil War.
On that.
Which is an awesome documentary. I love the Ken Burns Civil War documentary.
I want to see. Hold on, if I may interject, I want to see a documentary about the wig he wears. Ken Burns. You ever see that thing on the top of his head? It looks
I
like
have
a
no idea who
Muppet.
that is.
Ken Burns, the documentarian.
I had no clue.
He did the Civil War documentary, the Vietnam War documentary, the World War II documentary, baseball documentary, all these
Are they
documentaries.
just called the World War II documentary? Like,
That's
I have
what
no
he did.
idea.
He called it simply the war. He called the Civil War documentary Civil War. He called his baseball documentary
right now the Vietnam War.
Yeah,
And it is one of the most powerful documentaries I've ever seen.
All right, well, I wrote that one down.
really, he's got to get rid of that wig. It's horrible looking.
I've seen more space documentaries. If that clears it up, I've seen any history ones I watched while I was in high school, but didn't really pay as much attention. So that's probably my bad. But yeah.
You want to, Ricky? A great space movie, The Right Stuff.
Ooh. Yeah, The Right Stuff for sure.
The Right Stuff.
I'll tell you a great space movie that no one knows about. It's got the competition in Iron Man 2, that like quote unquote villain that's teaming up with Mickey Rourke's character.
Yep.
Yeah, well, he's in a movie. I can't remember that guy's name, but he's in a movie where he like works on the moon, and Kevin Spacey plays the voice of like the automated system that interacts with him. And I don't know, it's just like it's very
talking about, man, but
it's called Moon.
Moon. Yeah, it's just
bed rest, man. Bed rest. Kevin Spacey, man. You're talking about Kevin Spacey, right?
Yeah, I know he's he can't they ruined freaking House of Cards because of his feelings.
Yeah, but it's true. He did fondle a lot of
Yeah, no, it's totally justified the backlash or but he's got a lot of good work in his background, so definitely check out Moon.
I understand what you're saying, but if you know someone is bad rest, can you see it in the same light as you would?
Yeah, like I love what is it called? American Beauty. I can't think of like Seven.
I like American Beauty. I know what you mean, man. I like that movie.
Sure. Okay. Give you a perfect example. The song "Rock and Roll Part 1" by Gary Glitter. Later on, I learned
Gary Glitter was
later on. I learned about his computer being cleaned, and they found a bunch of child porn and stuff. And so, he took like some deals, like some plea deal. That even though I have kids, like I separate the artwork from the person that made it. Like he made a great piece of rock and roll art with rock and roll. But yeah, he's still a bad guy. But like I can separate that. Same with Kevin Spacey. So like, don't always let like the person ruin the art that they make.
Dude, a pedophile. Yeah. You're not gonna get any sympathy from me for a pedophile. I understand what you're saying, but pedophiles are pedophiles, man. Fuck that shit.
True that. And on that note, I think we should start wrapping up.
I have one more.
So,
movie to suggest there before we wrap that up. Rookie, if you haven't seen it, The Big Lebowski.
Oh my god, I hate that film.
Come on, it's perfect because it fits into everything we talk about with Star Wars. Because the last Star Wars movie was written by nihilists, and nihilists don't care about anything.
See what condition my condition was in. Yeah.
So hold on. Since you brought up the dreaded movie, Angus and I have hang-ups on it. Why do people like it? Why do people like Big Lebowski?
Big Lebowski is fucking real, man. That's real OG shit, man.
It's like he just has his drink and he's like killing.
Yeah, he just does his thing. He just goes along and lives.
But it's like
abides,
dude.
I just can't watch it. And the only thing that made me laugh almost was like when they dunked his head in the toilet and then he just puts his sunglasses back on. I was kind of like,
hey, Angus, which war were you in, man? Like Iraq?
I was in the Afghan campaign.
Okay, so the Big Lebowski, that's the first Iraq campaign, I think. Wasn't it?
I watched.
That's what makes it funny. But that's what makes it funny. You know what I mean?
I've watched.
Big Lebowski came out in '93.
Yeah, but it was
97, I think.
On the
Kuwait.
It was based on the Kuwait campaign.
One at a time.
Sorry, it was based on the Iraq Kuwait campaign, the Big Lebowski. and it was such a perfect crystallization of the time it was depicted in the movie. Big Lebowski. The Big Lebowski is the perfect movie. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I just personally, just for me, like I was born in '94, and I watched it in my cinema class, my intro to cinema class, and I was bored out of my mind. He's in his stupid dream sequence, and I just couldn't. I'm like, how am I supposed to? What am I supposed to go? Yeah, because I'm just this whole time just nothing. I'm not getting any substance from me.
Yeah, but listen, dude. The thing that I'm kind of getting with you is you don't understand the time frames these movies are made in. You know, you're criticizing The Godfather, you're criticizing The Shining, you're criticizing The Big Lebowski, but you have to really understand the time frame that these movies were made in order to judge them. You can say, yeah, they're boring by today's standards, but you have to look at the time. Anyone with me on this?
To a point.
I'm not just judging it going, this is boring. With like the other films that I mentioned before, those were I don't think that I will enjoy them because I've seen like their plots revealed and so much stuff about them already. With The Big Lebowski, I'm just not getting any one thing about it. There's not one character that I go, yeah, I like you. There's not one thing in it that makes me go, I'm liking this moment. There's not one joke that I thought was funny. So that's just why I don't like The Big Lebowski. With the other films, those will be different to judge. Those aren't because I don't get the time. It's just because I've seen so much about their story already revealed. But I don't know. I still could like those.
I have one question. You know, to me, after this stream, we are all brothers. We're all part of a gang. I think we should go to Star Wars, what's that called? The Star Wars kind of thing. The Star Wars. That's the one. We should go there
next year.
As a gang. We should get patches. We should go there, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm saving up and planning on going to Chicago next in April, or April, May, whatever the hell it is.
Okay, Moist.
That's what their patch will say. They'll say Team Moist.
Hell yeah!
All right. With the Big Lebowski, I agree with Combat about understanding like the time frames that some movies come out in. I've watched stuff where it talks about why the Big Lebowski is so great and how it reflects the Gulf War era and like big companies and whatnot. I still like I can appreciate like Goodman's character and the humor, but like it was awful even after seeing that stuff in like because. A great example for me is I saw No Country for Old Men when I was 15.
That was a good movie.
I love that movie.
I hated it as a kid, but then for some reason I rewatched it like a year ago, and it's one of my top 10 movies. Like, it was perfect, and I love it.
Coen Brothers.
Can I just interrupt there for a second? I guess I'm the oldest one here.
I'm like 24. Brandon's like around my age. Angus around my age.
24, yeah.
24? Yeah?
Yep.
I'm fucking 44, man.
Yep. It's all good.
No, it's not good.
Hey, most of my guests are in their 40s, so that's all good.
It's all good that we're able to get together and talk about it. We bring like different things to the table. It's awesome, rather than everybody agreeing. That would be boring AF.
Exactly. But so let's start wrapping up a little bit with each other. So
let's wrap the shit up.
Yep. So Angus, anything you want to plug or shout out or anything?
Well, I got my stream tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern with the Boss. He's a new kid on YouTube. I found him in the comments on Geeks and Gamers. Like, I think I'm going to start a YouTube channel, and I watched the source video. He's already uploaded like 3 more talking about his love for the prequels. He's a prequel kid like me, and I'm excited to hear his take. Apparently, his subjectively favorite Star Wars movie is Attack of the Clones. I'm excited to hear his take because I still appreciate that movie, even though I hate the chase sequence in it. Yeah, come by 4 p.m. Eastern for that, and check out my channel if you love film philosophy of the NFL. I try to cover all 3. Eventually, I'll get to do some think pieces about NFL, like specific topics or positions, what have you, periods of history. But yeah, I try to bridge the gap of nerd culture and
Black Angus. What is your favorite NFL team, by the way?
Oh, Philly.
Phillies? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I cried when I grabbed my son and I just bald when we won because
cool. I just wanted
I wasn't
to know
raised in Philly. I didn't inherit the Philly fandom. I chose it. I'm from Oklahoma in Dallas Cowboy country, and so
I saw a lot
I've,
of Dallas. Okay, cool.
I purposely picked a team that was one of the biggest losers in football history as far as like we're always second best at best. We're the Rocky. That's why Rocky resonates with Philly so much. I understand that.
Cool stuff.
I know the plot. So yeah, it really meant a lot to me because I chose to invest in a loser for 50 years of history.
Dude,
finally
just
won.
because we're losers doesn't mean we're awesome. Whatever.
Yep. And thanks, Angus, for reminding me. I just put the Bosk's link in the chat right now. He has 9 subscribers currently, but hopefully he'll jump to 18. So 8, or more than that. So we got 18 people in the chat right now. That would be awesome. And it looks like he's got a few videos up now instead of just his intro. So he's got some content already up. So let's hope that he gets some viewers.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Was there anything else you wanted to plug for yourself, Angus?
No, just come on, chump. If I want your subs, but I only want them if you like my content. And if you don't like content, tell me why.
Angus.
Exactly. It's checking out the channels and then seeing if you like them or not. And all right. So at Dawn, you're up.
I'd just like to mention my YouTube channel. If anyone wants to check it out, focuses on movie reviews with a mix of sci-fi and horror. Those are my favorites, and some gaming. And I just want to thank you, Rookie, for having me on. And I'm glad we were able to do this tonight.
All right. Yeah, no problem, man. Anytime. All right. Do you have any upcoming videos?
Got a cool.
Yeah, I've got a couple things I'm working on towards the end of the year. I'm gonna try to get 2 more movie reviews in, and there'll be some Let's Play like gaming series definitely up before the end of the year.
All right. Perfect. All right. Combat.
Rookie Critic, I must say, I really appreciate you giving us all the chance to kind of, profile our channels. I think you're a really great guy. I think you have a good taste in inviting people. I mean, everyone in this chat right now, I feel you are my friends. I don't know you, and
yep.
It could be if I run into you in real life, I might fight you in the parking lot.
Yeah, who knows?
As it is right now, I think you're all my friends and rock and roll, Rookie Critic, I love you, man. Hug to you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Listen, I got like this live podcast. It's called Cooking with Tinfoil. I discuss, general intellectual properties, politics. Check it out. Subscribe or not. I don't care. I love you all.
Well said, man. Well said. All right.
Hey, Combat, you want to listen to some mumble rap right now?
Yeah, mumble rap. Yeah.
Yep. All right, Petey boy, go ahead.
Okay. Well, thanks for the invite, Rookie Critic. I truly appreciate it. People in the room, thank you for being here. Great show. Some of you might know me. I like to lurk. I like to go into other people's. I'm always at Reviews for You. Hopefully, Craig gets better. Sometimes I'm with Mad Talk TV, but I do have my own channel. And the best way I could describe my channel is I do reviews. I do real life. If I see something, I'll make a video on it. Most of my videos are under 2 minutes or less. So, if you have time, you can watch the whole video. I know longer videos get you more of the ad revenue. That's just, whoa. Good Zoom type. Anyway, long story short, check out my channel, please. Subscribe to me if you like. I do giveaways every time I reach a milestone, like 500 subs, 600 subs. I'm trying to get to 700 subs. I do a little giveaway. If I get 100 subs in a month, somebody will win something. So subscribe to me, guys. You might win something.
What are you at right now?
I'm at, I believe I am at 650, or I'm at 555, I believe, like 556, around that mark, I believe. So once I get to 600, I will be doing a giveaway. I will make a video on it. So check out my videos. I have a variety of channels. Car Wins and Sins. I have a music playlist. I have a Sign Wins and Sins. payphone hunting, if you could believe that. I find payphone hunting.
Those are oddly kind of funny. They're short and sweet.
Yeah, short, funny, to the point, quick. I have wildlife videos. I have a lot of things. So the best way to describe my channel is a variety channel. There'll probably be something on there that you like. And thank you for this moment in time, Rookie Critic. I truly appreciate it. So check me out, guys. Thank you.
Thank you for giving us your time.
Yeah, no problem. And you guys are all welcome to come on other times. I mean, I can't always have everybody on at every stream, but when I have some future ones, I'll let you guys come in here and there, or sometimes I'll start it and then maybe invite somebody in, like, the last half hour or last hour or something also.
Just like the moist.
Yep. And it is the moistures, the moisterific, the moistastics turn.
From the bottom of the pond, in the World Class Bullshitters comment section, to peeking his head out of the water. The Moist is here. The Moist will be having his first inaugural Friday Moistcast tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. on my channel, which is easily named Brandon Moist. I haven't thought of a clever name yet for it, but
yeah, it's Eastern, right?
Was that Eastern time? So 8:30 Eastern time. On the PM hours. So 20:30 for the military folk out there. We will be doing. I'll be talking just a little bit of pop culture, state of pop culture. What I plan on doing. I've been talking to a couple of really good friends of mine that are very close from back home that have been trying to get into the podcast game, and I was like, all right, well, hey, let's try to do this. I have a little bit of a platform, a little bit of a following here. Let's take this and let's try to make some good content that people want to enjoy. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that in the intro, and then I'm going to talk about I'm going to rant about my own Star Wars comments that I've been keeping relatively close to the chest. Everyone knows my own comments. But I'm going to really let loose tomorrow. And I'm also going to talk a little bit of Red Dead Redemption 2 because I just finished up that game. No major spoilers, just a little mild spoilers. I have an article that I'm going to go through. We're going to be talking about some SJWism with Red Dead. In a very diverse game. In a game that is quite diverse in itself.
Dude, Brandon Moist, virtual high five, man. Come on, hit me up.
I got you, man. Just gave you a little high five there. And I'm also going to have segments. What made me moist this week? Which will not be
Follow this man right now. Follow him right now. Caitlin, the keeper of the Jeremy's, just put a link to his channel in the chat. So give him a follow.
Basically, it'll be me looking what happened in Florida because Florida usually has. And then I'm also going to have a segment of my favorite body of water of the week, and I will be giving you. And, for those of you listening tonight, I'll let you know what body of water I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. We're going to be talking about Lake Erie. You're going to have a lot of fun facts about Lake Erie tomorrow.
One of the things should be the "How moist can you get?" challenge or something for the women only.
Okay, go, man.
I feel like that should be a 100 subscriber, 250 subscriber. I feel like that should be a special. I like that idea. I think that should be good, but. Weekly, we're going to be doing what made me moist this week, and
every time.
How can your name make anybody sad? I mean, it's too funny. If anybody's having a bad day, hey, Brandon Moist.
Fuck it, yeah.
Hey, Moist.
Literally is my last name. I'm not bullshitting. That is my last name.
Hey, Moist. It's funny that you joined this chat today.
Wait,
Stop it.
Is your mom and dad Mr. and Mrs. Moist?
They are. Absolutely are.
It's so funny.
Moist. It's funny you joined today because literally a few hours ago I watched a little 10-minute documentary about giant salamanders. And they are very moist.
There are salamanders.
All right. Well, I think on that note, we shall wrap it up right here. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for coming by. Thank you, my guest, for being here. This was a pretty good one. So you never know where it's going to go. See, this is why it's hard to even think about structure sometimes. Like, part of me wants to have a structure for them, but then the other part says, screw it. It just divulges into fun anyway. So it's hard to judge that. But
thank you, Rookie Critic, man. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Rookie. Thanks, Angus. Thanks, everybody.
Yep, no problem, guys. The next stream on this channel is going to be next week, Wednesday, 5 p.m. with StarCraft, or Robert Willing. I know is his name. I forget his channel's name sometimes. And then we got Super Divorce on Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific. And tomorrow, there's a bunch of streams going on tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, there's the Rant's first stream with the Lone Wolf Cub at 7 a.m. Pacific. Then we got the Black Angus's stream at 1 p.m. Pacific. We got Sith Kryptonians having the Senate, I think 4 p.m. Eastern also. And then we got who else is going tomorrow? There's a couple other people tomorrow, I think. But there's a lot of streams going on tomorrow. So keep your guys' eyes out for it. And have a good one.